Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hala soo dhawaado. WST family, WST Foundation and Wellness. Damaan waan salame. Jum'a mubarak anilehe. Happy Friday. Welcome everyone. Money. That's what we're getting into tonight. Hey, everybody share the live. Invite all your friends. It's going down. Before I get into my introduction statements, I just want to say that I apologize to all of our WST fam, wherever you guys are. I know you guys were expecting us last night. I know you guys were waiting for us, but we were having some technical difficulties, and I want to say that I truly apologize. Happy Friday, Mary Ella. Welcome, sis. Assalamu alaikum to everybody that's joining us. TGIF, you guys, thank God it's Friday. I know we're on here a little bit late, but you know what? It's fine, you know? It's not like it's Saturday tomorrow. So everybody relax, get your tea, get comfy, because we have a great live for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and just share the live with the panelists. Uktihin all the time. Let me get all the ladies in here. How is everyone doing? What are you guys up to? The weather. Can we talk about the weather today? Can we talk about the weather in the T-dots today? Yeah, so the weather. Can we talk about the weather? Today was such an incredible, amazing day. Gorgeous, beautiful day. And I had a blast, actually. I went to go eat with my babies. Got some dinner, went to the park. What? Alhamdulillah, tabarakallah. I'm out here sipping on my frap. Chai frap is the thing. Get cool and collective. This is what we're talking about today. I'm going to try to move to the side. Okay? So as you guys know it, Meeshaan waxaa la dhahaa WST Foundation and Wellness. I am your host, Gupta Queen, and our fine panelists will be here with us. It is so nice to see you guys. I am so happy to see you guys, and I completely apologize if I'm coming. Hadili makhlaya screen kahala tap to. I'm gonna tap the screen. Maanta waxa laga hadlayo waa lacag. The meaning of lacag value maxay u leedahay, maxay important u tahay, you know?
Hello, Gupta.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmah.
Haye sidee tahay walaalo, soo dhawaad. Long time ma lagu arkine.
Nabad waay, lacagta ma noo qaybinayn.
Yeah, lacagta maanta wax badan kulligan caawitaan lacag ka baahanay. Money management ma garanayno. Hadaba community dhahane money management keenu wuu qaldan yahay. Maanta money management ka laga hadlayaa.
Money adaa ku soo sawirey bal buugga ii fiiri.
Money. Yeah.
buugga ii fiiri. Islaam walba Soomaali buuggaan ii qabtaa ma ogtahay in lacag ku qortaa.
Ledgerka ku fiirna awlta hore lacagta meeshaana lagu qori jiray ma ogtahay beesada inta lagugu leeyahay. Hadda ku ogaanay si waqti. You know, waqtiga hore nolosha fudeeda
Gabadha kale waa salaamay.
waa ku salaamay Maxamed Abo Macaan qosolkaa iga dhamaysa lacagta la qaybinayo maxaa waa nagu
Assalamu
bilowday
alaikum, ladies and Muhammad.
Waa salaamay. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmah.
wiilkan Maxamed maba ugu qorna meel Maxamed idinka ma u baxsataan.
meesha Maxamed aan ka u jeednaa
I see Muhammad aniga.
I don't even see that. I see like Abdurrahman something. Abdurrahman.
I believe in me inankii oo lahaa dadka waalwaalan baad ka sheekaysaan or something. Western Lawrence.
عوض وقت في عنو نسوق قبصده ساس لايفكم مركا usoo galno musnoo qabsada at least gadaal ma ka imaanayo
lacag jecel Soomaali dibadiisa
mari uu nisugaya I love you You guys, I have the book. Sheekada dhan waxaa ku bilaabaya ma kasaysiin. What is money? And money makes the world go round. Money
wax
makes
yar
the world
koo
go
la
round.
galaya hadhow camal aan idiin imaanaya insha allah.
Haya abo waa ku salaan waa kaa qaadnay. Join us.
Salaamantii
Cashaan
guriga.
bukeena kala sugeena intayna soo qabsadaane. You
Haye
guys,
How you
dimaashadeedana
doing,
nabasa.
Gupta?
haye warka keen ladies. Cawada waa soo daahanay waa u jeediin bad caadi waaye wixii dhagdhaga kule waa soo kala tuurne. Marka
So what, and how's your week going? How's your day going?
Actually, I had an amazing day. I had a productive day today. And also, my week was good. Wallahi, I can't complain. Anigu behavior kega, mood kega, qoraxda beba ku xiran tahay waxa ogaanay. I'm a girl that's with the weather. Whatever the weather is saying is what time I'm on. If the weather is beautiful and amazing, I'm beautiful and amazing, and I find myself to have a lot of energy. If it's raining, I'm kind of like sluggish, adrema. So, alhamdulillah, today was a beautiful day. You know, you didn't need a jacket. You're out there in the breeze. It was lovely. I can't complain. Marka, you guys have to screen for us. How are you guys? How was the week Hortore? Brihan ma باسم خلين until Tuesday and you kid them best. It's been a minute.
Alhamdulillah. Kay, how you doing, babe?
Alhamdulillah حبيبتي والله وانت كفي عنها. It's been great. I started working hybrid, so alhamdulillah. I've been enjoying the sun too. Wallahi, I think it's a lot of people. Like that's why وشران and Canada winter blues كايو seasonal depression كايو a lot of people مسكحذنا without even حتى تقفك عندهم أوجين با مركز تعملادو سامين بكوكيال نسام مسكحينا. That's why weekend it's even like هذا نلاش كلا رفطة هذا weather كفي عنتها. I think it's always like, you know, you can go out, do things. Alhamdulillah, Marka. I've been going out for walks. حتى شقدتنا كصباح عملها مريسناي.
Nice. Alhamdulillah. Tomorrow, I think it's going to be raining tomorrow.
Oh my God, the
See what I mean?
weekend?
It's like up and down, up and down. Nolasha sasaske. One day you're happy, one day the mood is not there, but you know what? Keep pushing on it. Like, also, let me do my introduction statements. I think
Let's wait for a couple more people to come in, but
yeah,
I'm
we'll
just
wait
gonna
for more
invite
people to
some.
come in.
Yeah.
How was your weekend, Magno?
Abdullah wa salam, assalamu alaikum wa
Like
rahmatullahi
cleaning about any weekend maqabi hoya ahay. Waxa qaba catch up on cleaning, laundry, maxaa kale ku sheega. And wallahi billahi chores. You know, hadirtanit alhamdulillah my Saturday consists of shah, unsi, hurud.
Oh my God,
I love that. I love
self-love.
that.
The typical
I want
Halima.
that for you. I really want that for you.
The typical Halima.
Honestly, I think that's so crucial in what Nagnol just said.
There,
And I
you're
can't wait to have an entire episode on self-love and self-care and just workout routine and meal prep and what it takes as women to put that nutrients back into
Abdullahi,
ourselves.
happy Friday, Walal. Welcome, so do.
Yes, the
Wallah,
man
people we have to get Abdullahi more followers so he can come up here, Wallahi.
Oh, we are having an incredible Friday night, Abdullahi. We would love to have you here. I cannot wait. We can follow Greo. He's a big support. You know what I mean? All these people are a big support to us, Marka. We appreciate you guys so much. Bur'a Waters, welcome. Tap the screen for us if you're gonna stay with us tonight.
Don't you think wax ka macaan male oo ka fiican guriga when you finally get it cleaned, unsi daratid, shaah shubatid. Wallahi billahi, it's like it takes self-care to a different level mooftahay. And then hurud iyo qasla daba ku dartid, but it's a wrap. Bis qof kula hadli karo.
You're winning in life.
You are. Wallahi, if you do that on a Saturday, you're winning. Wallahi. You know, waxa ka fikiraya in it's like that kind of feeling markad guriga nadiifiso. It's just like you know waxa jiraba maanta haathiga qayb dhan oo kamida oo maxaa la dhahaa decoloring like markaad if you like
Yeah.
specifically for harders ka dadka oo wax
Maria, welcome to Sodawat. Salam alaikum.
Maria
TGIF. Happy Friday, girl. How you
Hey,
doing?
Maria. Is she working?
Walaikum salam, my beautiful girls, ladies, mashallah. It's actually Saturday here, so
Is it?
Oh,
Where
yeah,
you
you're in
at?
the future. She's in Australia.
Oh my God,
all the way.
girl, you're in that. Oh, you're in one of the nicest places ever. I envy you.
I can tell you what the future holds, guys.
Right? What is the
Astaghfirullah.
future
You
hold?
will, yeah, I'm telling you.
It's a beautiful rainy day. I am cold. Like,
Oh, that's
oh my
amazing.
God.
Mashallah.
Yeah,
How's
mashallah.
the family? How's your weekend starting off? We were just talking about self-care, Somali style.
You
Yeah,
know,
then we're doing
wallahi,
the
Abba, you have no idea. Mashallah. Yeah, so this morning was so kai, and then I took my daughter and my son to gymnastics. Then they went to ballet class, and we came home. I put them to sleep, and now I was just about to put some music on and do some dancing around the house and cleaning, basically.
That's what's up.
We're gonna nigga beefed all day. We say we're so tired, but as soon as our kids go to bed, it's like ding ding, the lights come on.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know why
know.
that happens.
Wallah, I was
all
so
the time.
tired. I was gonna have a nap. My plan was like, I cannot wait to put them down so I can have a nap, but then I've changed my mind. When they fell asleep, I was like, okay, now it's time to clean the house.
Yeah, that is always like that. Wallahi. You know, were you? I seen a video. You were doing gardening, wasn't it? I think that's
Yes.
amazing. I love gardening, but I'm not the best at it. It's like I have to teach myself. And I came across your video today, and I seen my yard, and I was like, I think I need to go do that. You know? So you're motivating me to even go attend to my yard. Wallahi, I was talking to
Oh
Mommy
my
about that today.
god. You know, I'm actually, hopefully, I will, oh, I think I'll show you guys. I'll show you the outside where I'm planning to do some gardening.
Incredible. It's so self-soothing up there. So self-soothing. Incredible. I was like, this is what I need to do with my hat, touch the earth. I'm like, this is a form of like relaxation. You know what I mean? I'm like, I haven't.
It is, and I love it, and I enjoy it so much. It's just, actually, the sun is up now, which is good. It's not raining anymore. I don't even know I'm cold. Yeah, so this is what I did. I'll show you guys. Let me see if I can turn my camera on.
And Habib, do you do this yourself? You don't hire anybody or?
No. She's amazing, Akule. She's incredible. I came across her video and I was like, this sister is
So I
motivating.
poisoned this land. Oh, what happened?
Okay, Abdullah, catch up with us later on.
Okay, the internet.
Waiting for more people to come on before we start talking about our monies. Okay, we'll see you later.
No, I definitely have to put that on my bucket list.
Do it because you know what, you can grow organic foods. You can make your own food. You know what I mean? And so that. Yeah, it's
No,
been
it's like
hard.
it's cover with.
Oh,
Oh, it's
internet's
paused.
being rude to us.
Wow.
Exactly.
Well, it's just like Somalia waxa weeyaan wax iska dhacan waqti waa rabaani oo kale inuu ilaahay baa soo saar xagee hada waalidkaaga weydiiso sidee u baxan they're gonna tell you like ilaahay baa bixiya it's rabaani ilaahay ha gelin abuurtiisa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How come they never taught us more about like how to grow our own food, how to like farm? Like, why isn't that something that's like not even part of the curriculum? I always wonder that. Like that, don't you think that's the
Wallahi,
need? Like
Rachel,
that's
I'm not gonna lie to you. Not once has it crossed my mind to put my hands in dirt and do anything that you just said.
actually
Mama,
need
is this what
contact with
What
the
are you
earth.
talking
It,
about?
it stimulates your mind.
I bought a plant for myself and it was dead in like a week or so. I didn't even think about it when it was.
We're
I was
talking
like,
about
why would
farming.
I
You know why we're talking about farming? We were like, you know what? Before we get into our introduction statements about money and what we're money literature and financial, just financial literature, financial everything, we were like, let's just chit chat for a minute. Like, how's everybody's week? Because it's Friday, so it's like, let's do a quick recap of what the sisters, enjoyed about their week. And I'm just answering some people at the comments. So that's what we're up to, you guys. And you can join us. And until we wait for all of our panelists to join, come up, share your stories with us, how your week has been. Why not? But that's one thing that I saw on Maria's page, and I was like, you know what? That is a good thing because I have a gigantic big yard, and usually I do it, but I've kind of lost motivation for it lately, and I wanted to get back into it, So yeah. Sis, you're cutting off.
cut off? Mahatri, she had a YouTube where she used to post. Is it gardening for beginners? Because that would be
That would be
interesting.
awesome. We need that.
Yeah.
I know gardening وإحنا ما كجرنا. I would be lost in that world. I'd be like, oh my, especially when your nails get dirty. Ugh. But we need that. Anyway, so should we get into it? What do you guys think?
Yeah. Money, money, money,
Yeah, let's
money.
get into it.
Money,
You know what I was
money,
gonna
money,
say? It's really good that,
Hey, African lady in the house. Salam
African lady, how
alaikum.
are you doing,
I'm
sis?
gonna
Good
say
evening, darling. Wa salam, mate. How about African lady? Come join us up here.
Come
I will
join us. I'm
invite
pretty
you.
sure you know one thing about
I'm pretty sure you will give us
money.
an amazing breakdown, especially when it comes to, I don't know if you guys heard, but 15 African countries are preparing and developing and deploying e-currencies, under the watchful eyes of banks, telecom operators, and Finch Tech. So I'm pretty sure, Lady Africa, you would have an interesting conversation with us about that. An example of these 15 African countries that are preparing or developing and deploying e-currencies are Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa.
Yeah, no, digital currency is pretty big topic all around globally right now. And different investments. Lady Africa, happy weekend, happy Friday.
Oh my
How are you,
goodness, my
Lady
dears,
Africa?
I'm so exhausted. Okay, I'm so exhausted. I wish you could know how I'm feeling.
Oh my
Tell
God.
us, break
End of
it
the
down,
week,
let it
we can
out, let it out.
imagine. We can imagine the end of the week.
It's the end of the
The end
week.
of the week,
it's
and
a good
then
time it's a good time to share because we were just doing check-ins on each other. So
We're
share
doing
your
a wellness check-in. Wallahi, wellness check-in, it makes you feel at ease after you just let it out,
oh, I wish things were just easier, like the way you are saying. When everyone wanna have a part of you, then like it's very complicated. So how are you guys?
No. We practice something called self-love and self-care. At WST, it's all about wellness. That's why we have the wellness part and we have foundation. We have to reorganize and lay brick by brick our foundation. If things are not working for us, we need to figure out how to come up and develop new plans that are going to work for all of us and individually too. You know what I mean? And the wellness part goes to, if you're feeling drained because people need pieces of you and society and your families and things of that nature, you're not going to have enough fuel for yourself. you know?
Everyone. I'm drained like nothing like tomorrow. And the
And you
whole
know,
day I was giving orientation, I was giving seminars, I was doing this and that, and like my feet, my back, my everything, like, huh.
you know what you do?
Anyway,
Take a nice hot long bath, you know, power your phone off, even if it's for an hour. Just say, you know what, today I'm gonna take an hour for myself and I'm not even talking to the world. And just put on your candles and just relax. Listen to all your favorite tracks. That's the best advice I can give you. And it's something I had to learn the hard way in life, you know?
always.
But yeah, so we were reading on some interesting information about the e-currencies that I think they call it the Naira in the continent, and it's the continent's first central bank, is the digital version of a bank, and it's called the CBDN. And I was like so fascinated with it. So
So wait, what is money first? This concept of money that has the globe in a frenzy and everybody what is it?
well, my definition would go as the first thing that I thought about was, when I thought about money, is like money makes the world go around. Like off the top, that's what came in. And then when I got into it a little bit deeper, it was like money is crucial, you know, to regulating our lives, our economy. Money is something most of us take for granted. We constantly transact in money, think in money, strive to earn money and earn more of it. And then a few genuinely understand what money is. And even those who do often perceive it, we all perceive it in a different way. So to each their own. The way I view money might not be the way that you view money, you know? And then what else came to my head? Some say that money is a form of energy that can be transformed and exchanged. Others see it as a technological tool that facilitates trade and commerce. Still others argue that money is a social construct, so it's shaped by society and governed by a cultural norm and values. All these views can be correct, since the concept of money is very much deeper than the way that it's commonly framed. Money assumes various forms of spending, physical, you know. That's basically my concept. Like, there's different variations of what we believe money is. And I think that's why we even have a hard time coming to an agreement with it, you know?
I read a book a while ago. I forgot it was the name. He wrote two books actually. Homo Sapiens, one of them. I forgot the name of the author, but he described money as the best story told. He said that it was kind of a social construct, like you mentioned last, but the way he put it is that we give value according to the stories that we tell, right? And in the world before, they used to trade in like whatever items and gold and just stuff like that. And then somebody came along. I would like to know who was the first person or society that came up with the concept of money in particular as we know it today. That's okay. Let me Google that. But this guy pretty much said it started off as in one area of the globe, and then before you knew it, you know, they convinced the rest of the globe, this is important, this is everything, you need this. If you don't have this money, that you pretty much don't have anything. And as people started to believe, the more people believed it, the more the story goes on and on and on. Wakana, here we are now, fighting over it. But it literally just started off as an object and a story.
Absolutely. Lady K.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Waayo waxaa jirta maxaa la yidhaahdaa iminka waqtiyadii haddaad u fiirsato tusaale ahaan oo kale haddaad daawato filimaantii hore ama waqtigii nabiga calayhi salaatu wasalaam asxaabta oo kale waxaa ka badnayd in lacag la isticmaalo in waxyaabo la kala bedasho yacni marka waxaan odhan karaa horta imika waqtigan la joogo mise qarniyadii hore imika waqtigan la joogo I think wax kasta oo la isticmaalo wuxuu u badan yahay lacag laakiin waqtiyadii hore waxaa la isticmaali jiray wax kasta oo qiimo leh ood haysato baa ayaa lacag ayaad u isticmaali karaysay as wax aad wax kaga bedelan karayso ama waxaad wax ku iibsan karayso waxaan laakiin ani ahaan fikirkayga waxaan aaminsanahay lacag waxa weeyaan waa wax walba oo wax value la noloshaada soo gelinaya wax qiimo leh aad ku bedelan karayso
Absolutely. You know, sorry, Lady K, you're chipping off over there. You know, some people they really encompass like money as coins, as paper, as notes, as a transaction that's distributed by the government. So my whole thing is, was it always that way? Because the way that I remember it, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The way that I remember it, it was like back in the day, they used to have something called like a ledger. They would have a ledger or you would have a book, you know, and you didn't have these big organizations. People would trade goods and services for, you know, products, right? That they were able to produce. And then they would keep like ledgers where they would like write like, okay, this is how much you owe, this is debt. And it was like a book that was kept like that and was organized that way. So then my whole thing is like, when did money become a form of, you know, a means to transact, to purchase goods and services? The function is commonly referred to as a medium of exchange, right? It is a good you acquire and its own at its own stake. And money is like for the market. So it's like you use it for the market. You acquire like materials, you purchase things with it. But when did this idea that if you don't have enough money, then you're placed at like you're poor, you're not, your status in life is not valued. You understand? Sorry, we have somebody joining us. John,
Hello,
how are you? Assalamu alaikum.
I'm good.
How's it going? Where are you joining us from tonight?
Canada.
Nice. All right. So what's your take on this money and these new currencies that are taking place, especially within Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think his call dropped. So many people are like trying to come on. Okay, let's accept this person.
What's their definition of money?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to find out because everybody has a different idea when it comes to that. Money went
Welcome,
from being a
honey.
sovereignty.
Nadir Mohammed Sodawo.
Nadar. Hi, Nadar. How are you? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is that how we pronounce your name? Nadar?
Everybody seems like they're having difficulties, Qofwalbo.
Hey,
Walal
What's
Sodawo.
going on with the internet tonight?
waan dhawaa xabiibtii.
lacag waxaan ka hadloonaa lacag meeshaaneeto.
Maybe Kay, you can explain.
Lacag see ah.
nadar maxamed soo dhawow walaalo waxaan ka hadlaynaa caawa lacagta iyo qiimaheeda iyo maxay u dhigantaa goormaa la bilaabay in lacag la isticmaalo waxyaabihii kale la isticmaali jiray la joojiyay adiga nadar ahaan lacag maxay kaaga dhigan tahay markaad lacag maqashid maxaa maskaxdaada kusoo dhaca
oo aan baan.
su'aal Yeah, I think there's something going on with the internet.
There's something going on.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to come on and talk, unless this is a taboo subject for our community. I thought they would
I don't think this is a question that's asked a lot about a lot of people because Gupta aniga growing up waxa xasuusta lacag ma laga hadlo. It's not something that you mention.
The only thing I remember like is we don't have enough.
we don't have enough. That is the funniest thing I heard.
That traumatizes me.
It's not that we don't talk about it. It's like we ain't got enough. Real talk, wallahi. Y'all tap the screen for that. It's
It's true.
when
No,
you
our
ask
relationship with money is very, very, very weak because listen, so I've been listening to these broadcasts lately about finances and these rich guys talk about money. And the one thing that I'm taking away from it is wallahi, our relationship with money has to change. As a
you can't
community,
even answer one question. What is money and what does money mean to you? It's like asking them to go to Mars. They get intimidated.
horta waxaa la dhahaa it's for the cadaan guy, it's aniga way nagu yar tahay and maxaa kale wallahi billahi it seems like so hard to get, it's so difficult to obtain, waa waxaaneeto oo qatar oo la heli karin oo ninka cadaanka la jeebkiisa ku jiro ma fahantay. I'm just like this whole narrative, wallahi, I'm telling you, the world has changed and it's like we have the millionaire has become the new thousandaire. You know what I mean? There's more money on earth than ever before in the history of humans.
I can't wait to hear Lady Africa's definition of money. I cannot wait for it. Let me hear it.
African lady, what?
African lady, everybody has ran away as soon as we asked them what is money and what does money mean to you. Kawaran, it's like a taboo subject almost. This is interesting life tonight.
Maybe you are talking to the broke people like me.
Wouldn't you think broke people would know more about money than rich people in a way? Because we're after it, we're seeking it every single day. You would think we would have financial literacy around that subject.
You know what? I have been writing some articles for Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, okay.
Yeah, and then, these are the media groups and so on. So they do give me sometimes little money, sometimes they may not like, and they still use my article. They may say like, you have to do this, you have to do that. And and then the little that you have been getting, when you get KRA, a letter that telling you like, return 9K. It's like, wow, where do I have to get?
Lady
money is everything. Either people, either they have a money or either they have a power.
Yeah.
Okay. In order to be a privileged person, either you have a money so that you can pay under the table, you can go and bribe, you can do anything that you want, so that you can have fluent to everything. Or either you have a power so that you can have a privilege to everything. Either one of that. That's how life divine.
So African lady, I went to this one seminar not too long ago, and the guy straight up told me, he said, he asked me this question, what's your relationship with money? And I said, it's non-existent right now. and he said, well, that's because you don't believe you deserve it. You have to believe you deserve it, and your relationship, you have to build it. And I'm looking at him like, my brother, give me a break.
أنا lacag ma rabo, waxaan rabaa WST Foundation ka rabaa.
WST Foundation. Oh, Mohammed aan ugu soo laabtay.
Mohammed, pass is giving gabdhaha hadda meestaan hadalkooda dan waqtigaaga waa ku siinaya walaalo.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait, Kawar.
Wow,
Okay, let's pause and we let it go. Go ahead, Mohammed.
Yeah, Mohammed,
go ahead, Mohammed. gabdhaha waa kaas platform.
Mohammed lacag uu rabaa hadda
cimaamada gabadhaana rabaa.
What's that means?
What is
I
that?
don't even get it.
Gabadha buug iyo qalin aan ku aragtay lacag inay qabtaa uma la saamiya.
may lacag la'aan xataa ku raacaya.
Mia.
Oh, okay. I'm getting now because I was totally lost.
Yeah.
Lady
Gabadha
Africa,
rabta.
I want to talk to you about the global economy and how it has undergone like significant
War
changes
global economy waxaaba ka daranba dhegeyso.
since
Global
1971
economy
when
aa ku
the
haysa.
gold ended. I want to
Dhegeyso.
learn from Lady
Gubta.
Africa.
Global economy aa ku haysa. Ana guriga kaligay dhex joogaa.
Haye.
Walaalo, bal waxaan baan haysato our community. Walaalo,
Sug anaa kaa qabanaya sug. Maxamedow,
What happened? What's going on?
khayr allaha ku siiyo walaal
What happened?
inantu maad aragtay dee dhaqan baynu leenahay haddaad inanta naga rabto geelii iyo maad aragtay dahabkii iyo everything soo kaxee
How much money do you have?
luuqaygala soo hadal gabdhaha geelaa laga bixiyaa waxaa laga bixiyaa waxaan kaa rabaa geelii faraskii qorigii everything soo diyaari
Faraska ma kaa saaran tahay camal?
anigu waaban jeclahayba faraska anaaba qaadanayaba faraska ma fahantay marka
mid aan kuu sheego.
adiga daaqada ka soo boodaysaa dhaqankaad ka soo boodaysaa
Western iyo Lawrence meesha la dhahayo farasna ma socdo geelna ma socdo.
I do not care Soomaaliya adeeryaashii baan dirayaayo halkii baa lagu kala qaadanayaa ma fahantay
qofka global economy ka hadlaysa qof geel laga bixinayo lo laga bixinayo faras laga bixinayo uma eka
Maxamed aan kuugu daro mid the fact that she's talking about global economy qiimaheeda double buu noqonayaa because she's not only gabadh she's educated waa hanti weeyaan ma fahantay
topic-gayga goorma ku laabanay anigu
I know. Mohammed, you're killing us here.
I want to learn about money and what it means for my community, what it means, the global change, adduunka siduu isku bedelay, the new currencies that Africa is
aniga waxaan rabaa that energy ina ilmaha ii geliso ilmaha ii koriso
ilmaha dee lacag u baahan
ilmo korista waa helaysaa iyo daycare ilmo korista aniga I'm on to bigger and better things.
This is not the room for that walal.
Yeah, this is not
Hey guys.
Hey Amina,
Welcome all of you guys.
Oh my god, our darling, welcome darling.
Alhamdulillah guys, so sorry wallahi. Hey, it's all about money today.
Money.
Sit back, you know what, Mohammed, sit back, relax walal. I Lady Africa ahead. qolkan by the time I come back lacagta u sameyn lahayd helaysaa naag
no, Mohammed, he's gonna have to get us to 40k tonight. Mohammed, if you're a real man, get us to 40k likes. Ding ding.
I like to know trouble. And one free tip aan ku siinaa Mohammed though. Naag aa bursani lacag burso naagaha ku bursanaye.
qaacidadaas been waayo
Ben ma wala it's a proven fact scientific fact.
dhegeyso hadda gubtoo kale yaa dhaafay world economy ka hadlaysaa islaan saas oo kale rabaa aniga
mama dhegeysanaysid
imika topic-ga dhegeysa Maxamed hadhowna maad aragtay markay lacagtiyo waxaan oo dhan aad baratid you're gonna know sida lacagta loo manage gareeyo
dadii soo saara waayahay
Mohammed, tap the screen for me, okay? Show us love that way. Lady Africa, please go ahead. I apologize for the interruption.
Okay, Lady Africa, naga raalli ahaw.
Oh,
muxubada ayuu nagu yara badan.
No worries. Although I didn't get, but I just catch a little bit. But
Lady
the main
Africa,
thing I didn't
the Somali men in our community are just like that. Everything is about I need to find a wife. So
but the rest of the things
it's so hard to find a good wife. Western and Lawrence especially.
hadee waa ku sheegay the formula marabtina dhageysatay
hadda ku imaamada dambi hayga dhigin
Makadigan, but I have to apologize to my sister because you know some people we're not all from the same community or same language or same people. I understand. I have to explain to the people what is going on around here. You know, that's what we do in WST. We explain ourselves.
Okay. Waxa weeye inay ugu jiraan uma maleynayna kaligeena uma leeynahay.
Ay. Okay, baadi ikadi. I think you need a lot of services.
Oh my God! Somebody just send him kittens to raise them work. Really?
Refer him to some psychologist. Some God knows what. WST started pulling out the notes tonight. We can't. He needs services. Western New Lawrence area. That's wahaloga radio. Anyways, Lady Africa, go ahead, walalo.
Yeah, you know, either people chase after money or either they after power. Those in between those two are the just like people who just usually respect the labor, respect the rich, respect for this and that, and can be used and can be taken advantage all the time. But those who have the fluence for everything, either they are rich of money or either they have privilege in the power. So when we come in terms of economic wise, in the 8th century is when human beings have started digging the ground and getting food from it. Okay, in the 8th century. And it has continued like that. And then sometime in the 10th century is when they have started now like exchange of food, exchange of goods, exchange of anything that they have farmed. Okay, so that like for example, for you have been you harvested beans and I harvested corn, so that we can exchange, or maybe potatoes or something else, so that we exchange. So that one, it has been going on. And then it comes to the when human beings have started about revolution, actually this kind of generators and so on, it's when it came. And at that time, men and women, they used to work together before the revolution started.
Yeah.
And the women used to give a lot of children birth. And those those children, majority of them, they used to use it as a labor. They want the interest of labor, so that they can boost the family, they can help for labor work and so on. And then after some time, because at that time men and women have to work together, there is no field of specialization by then. Then what happened, after all, they start having generator, they start creating some things. And then now, they start creating some things. And then now, who's taping me now?
He can't help himself. It's Muhammad, but go ahead.
Yeah, then what happened is they have been continuing like that. And then, you know, this kind of Marxism had to come, and colonial had to come, and many different continents, they had come up with some different things. So some of the continent, they have collected armies and they start using those armies, and army for by force. Some of the sides, they had to collect a colonial that will be used for labor and so on. Some other sites, they have collected what do I call making a kind of factories or little factories and so on. And then what happened is, at that time, women used to give birth to many children. And then after the starting for machinery, you know, when men are every day in the machine, having this kind of noise for like a generator machine,
Yeah.
making all that kind of noise. And then from Monday to Friday, sometimes they go for camp, they work in a field where it's far away from the house, and then the population got deducted. While population getting deducted, there are those who are working also about medicine and so on. And then now women, the population, it has to get reduced. Women had to give less children than before, because also these women, they are going to work in labor and they will be working at home. Men will be working from far away from they used to make money or exchange of goods and so on.
What has happened, you guys? Hello? What is going on tonight?
I have no idea what's going on.
Did you see how
Sorry.
the whole thing just shut down and
Yeah, yeah. So what happened is this kind of a story have came, and then now a group of people who are elite start convincing people, squeezing people into a small place or into a small kind of city, and the whole kind of big land and so on. They say like, this we will put as a community goal, as a community benefit. We are the one who's benefiting. We are the one who will be doing this. And then some of the people, they have been done kind of proportionate through by their lands and so on. They have been reduced because the common interest are better, right? By then they have been brainwashed for them doing that. It has continued like that. For continuing like that, colonial from one country to the other had to come. And those days, before the colonial had to come, some of the country, they had to create borders and so on, so that they protected their nation and their wealth. And then now start making business of silly, what do I call, like the kind of this kind of material of clothes, which is silky clothes from India and other places. And then some other countries had to sell what do I call cotton. Some other countries saffron and other things in Iran. And there are so many things that they have been doing and exchanging goods. It continue like that, and then they end up colonizing each other, the privileged themselves, not even before they go to the Africans. So after, for them, what do I call colonizing each other? French have colonized Britain for 500 years. Things were not in good. Roman, it had to go in a funny way. Spain, the same as that. And Portugal, those are the big guys, at that time.
yeah.
So after all, it has to end up the colonial among them. And then they had to put an interest of having slave from Africa. They got the slave, they brought it, then they farm it, they have used and abusing and doing so many dirty things. And then after the slave, coming the World War I, after that, then the World War II. After the World War II, then it happened something called Great Depression
Yes.
in Britain. The Great Depression, when it came, a group of people like you and I and everyone who are in here started to have, started now a little money that they had. One of them used to write a magazine. One of them used to sell newspapers around, little newspaper. By then, at those times, the newspaper, it was just like a one page. But printing and the typing, it used to be used for a type.
Yes.
Some used to write down, and then that's how they used to exchange. By then, someone who is a very good writer, it was not an easy time to get it. So this kind of group of people, they had a little money, and they started lending the money to Britain. And these guys are the one who come up with this idea of IMF, International Monetary Fund. That's how it became. So IMF start looking the value of the money, monitoring values of the currencies to every country around the globe. Okay? And then the World Bank, which lends money and give in an easy way and collect and so on. And the IMF also, they do give lend. They lend money, but they lend, anytime IMF lend anything, they usually have a harder condition. The conditions are very hard and very tough, the condition. Because sometimes you as a president, you can ask like money to lend. you go and look for loan from them, and they can tell you like the whole entire of agriculture in your country, I will be handling for 20 years.
Lady K, did this include interest at this time, like the IFM? Were they adding interest, or is that something that came about later? Like, was that always in
No,
existence? Because I always wondered where that came from.
look. You know, the song says like, we are the world, we are the children. You know, right? That
Absolutely.
song.
Yes. Michael Jackson
That
is.
song was made for Ethiopia. Okay?
Okay.
That song was made for Ethiopia. And Ethiopia is a green land, is a fertile land, is a land that can grow everything. But they have been having a hunger for a long time because IMF took almost 40 something years or more than that, since 1940 something. It was just recently they have been taken off from that. You know that? All the agriculture and everything was handled by the IMF. Yeah, it's forget about interest, but I'm telling you, like, harder condition, like to control.
Because they're
all the-
controlling in a way that these countries are not able to produce and sell their services to other countries. They're not
No,
even able to produce for their own land. It's only for, they're only able to produce to exchange. Is that like what you're trying to, like, that's pretty much it, right?
okay, like, let me act like me, and you are a country, okay?
Okay.
I am the IMF, okay? So you want money to lend, okay? So when I give you a lend, I'm giving you money, and I'm telling you, like, you know what? I will take either all kind of input and output.
Import and export.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, it's what I will take anything that comes in and that gets out of your country. I'm the one who will be controlling. Okay? And then
Yeah.
you have no power for it. I lend you money, and you are going to give me with the interest and everything, but these particular things I'm the one who's controlling. Can you control everything that I'm taking from your country? You cannot.
No.
Right?
Very smart.
That's how it goes. That is how it goes. IMF, that's how they are. And then their job since that time until now, they lend money, but their job, it become those particular elite people, it become controlling the values of a currency. Where some of the African, their currency is very low, where the Europeans are very high, where the dollar and Stanley pound and also the Swiss franc and so on is very strong currency. So that's what they do. That's their job. That's their duty. Yeah. So then now at Great Depression, it got helped. And then for that time, then the world, it's become like the way it is right now. And then when we come right now, well, we know like the currencies and everything that have gone, it has been very expensive. And then now they're creating something called cryptocurrencies for every country, right?
Yeah.
This electronic money is more about monetary action. This money, it will be very expensive, maybe, the currency to buy. Your money, they may be given to you a particular duration, so that if you don't change, maybe, then it will expire, and it will be just a piece of a paper that you are keeping your money. So
See, African lady, you're absolutely right. It's going to be a lot more expensive to acquire. And also, I think it's going to further the understanding of money to people, because right now, like,
then
there's,
wait, let me finish here. And then when you want to buy a house, it will be a specific kind of currency. When you want to buy a car, it's going to be a specific kind of a coin. When you want to buy a car, a specific coin. When you want to buy a house, a specific coin. and the rest of the things, it will be a specific coin, so that you will not be touching a cash anymore on your hand. It's just like the electronic. The way right now we are using here the TikTok, similar to that. Okay? So that's what is going to come. And then when that one comes, who is lose? Who is not losing? Definitely some of the countries, developing countries, will be a loss. But now South Africa have already aligned with China and what do I call, and
Lady Africa,
India.
they said 15 African countries are already lining up.
Yes, they are lining up slowly by slowly. Everyone will join, but
It's actually those African that are advanced, South Africa, for example,
yeah,
right?
by then
And
already in Zimbabwe
Ethiopia.
they already did. They
Yeah.
have already done a gold coin, Zimbabwe. They have been working on like last 2-3 years. If you want to know much about it, go to ADDI. Google it. What means ADDI is African Diaspora Descent. And Dr. Akaira, Dr. Arikana, the lady who used to be, what do I call, African Union ambassador in the US. So she's the elite for that particular group. I'm also part of it. So sometimes you can register and be the member, at least for you to learn or to come up with something. And if you are a group of people who have a business and so on, you can join very well and do better. So that's how money is influenced. That's how the world is looking things. And then now in this kind of crisis about the coins and everything, things that you can go away with it is either you are able to manage to get those currency or not. Maybe either you have a big land and you are doing farming. And the farming right now, we will all need farming because the way world it is totally very difficult. And the farming, there is a regular agriculture that can be done in anywhere. There is a greenhouse that can be built anywhere. And there is also something called a hydro farming that can be helpful. Sub-Sahara Africa and other, any place that is very drought and that doesn't have
Solar panels? Do we have the solar panels in Africa?
What do I call? There are many things that you can benefit from it. It's just because people are not paying attention. Okay. For example, if we look at at Somali, right? Let me just enlighten you a little bit. And I don't want anyone to take personal, by the way. It's just my idea, okay?
I don't take anything personal.
A safe space, sister.
Yeah.
Because you know what? If we took everything that was said personal, how are we gonna, hormar ku gaarayna? You don't learn nothing if you're taking everything personal. You have to look at it as educational. Go ahead, lady, Africa.
When you bring heavy vocabulary, it will be hard for me to understand a little bit. Yeah. But then let me just tell you something here, okay? The ground, huh? Somali have taken everything. It has gone. The plant, the trees, okay? And usually the land. Have any one of you done environmental biology?
I did ecology, one course. It was a while back though.
Okay, let me just explain to you. Yeah. The land is 5 layers, okay? The top layer, it's a dust layer. It's a layer that have dust. It's a dust. It's called fertilizer, this kind of dust. You can plant something, it can come. Without even planting, grass can grow. Something you can just throw it, it can grow. Like tomato, little things can grow.
Yes.
Okay? Without even your plant, the first layer. The second layer is the soil and the sun. Sand and dust. Okay? Second layer. The third layer is sand only. The fourth layer is a sand and a stone. The fifth layer is only stone.
Wow.
So after the stone, you know the water, the magma.
Yes.
It goes to water. After the water, then it's the magma plate. Okay, the plate that the whole this wall is standing on.
Yeah.
The
That's
magma.
where we're reaching.
Yeah, that's where it is. So the ground, it has this kind of layers.
Yes.
And then what happened in if just it's my observation in Somali, they have cut all the trees and to export as a charcoal to the Middle East, right? So these trees, what do? When they become big, they hold the dust, the sun, the soil, plus the stone.
Yeah.
The root, it become more strong.
Yeah.
Okay? So that the near side or even far distance, still it can keep. So when this one has been taken and dead, so the sun, the soil, the stone, nothing is keeping together.
Yeah.
Rain will come, it will go for flood.
Oh my God.
And then this flood, sometimes the flood will go very high, very hard, and it can even smash the houses, and those houses can collapse. Why? Because there it may be happen, maybe some kind of landslide, because the land, there is no those roots and everything that's putting together.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how the ecosystem and the environmental system are depending each other. All right.
But Lady Africa, let me ask you, do you think this is the Somalis doing, or do you believe this is outforce exploitation?
Okay, it's an exploitation. Okay, like right now, this one, it has happened. Previous, we had a better government. Right now, we have another government, and until today is going on that kind of exploitation. It's going on.
Yeah.
They have explored to the middle of this kind of extent. It's inhuman what's going on. By then, these people who are doing this, do they have the knowledge? No. Do they have the knowledge? They don't have the knowledge. Are they hungry for the money? No, they are not hungry for that money, because they are privileged to carry from Somali to take to all the way to Dubai and so on, to sell it, those things. It happens, right?
Yeah.
Then are they like this desperate who need money and so on? No, they are the elite. Okay, these things, it has happened now. How can we recover? We can recover what I told you right now. Need to be planted.
Yeah.
The plant that you need to put it before you put to the ground, first of all, you have to put into a greenhouse. Let should be a bigger size. Let should be a strong, the where the soil and everything is.
We need
when
to
it's somehow a little bit big, is when you have to put into the soil to transform to the land. When you take to the land, you have to be nursing. You have to taking good care of it, at least 1 or 2 years, until it catches everything very well. If no, then it will be zero work. And if you don't do it now, tomorrow will be too late, because the flood that comes from all over around the world, it's going to pass you by. And remember that, like the world, it's like a ball, right?
Yeah.
So Somali is somewhere down.
Yeah.
After Somali is Australia down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can
So
Lady Africa, do you mind if Kay translates some of the stuff you said in Somali? Because we have non-speaking English people joining us.
okay.
Yes. Just let her explain everything you just said so they at least understand what we're talking about.
Lady Kamayada xasuusanaysa wax badan bay sheegtay.
I really liked what Lady K said about the farming and how she explained the 5 layers.
Yeah.
That was amazing because
You know what's so sad? She's absolutely right. Because I've seen a lot of people, specifically, like she said something about people are not hungry for the money, but it's not the people. It's
it's
people
the
who are
elite.
in
She
the
said it's the
country.
higher up. It's the people that run the country.
It's not that people though. It's not that people. It's the people in the countryside are hungry for the money, and they're being offered like something that's really really small, and it's them. Actually, I was watching like a Somali small movie. It was just like a short movie in Somali, and they were talking about how this is affecting them. People in the countryside cannot even get a shadow. Like if you're walking and then you're tired and the sun is really hot, you can't even get to go. Like you can't even get a tree to go under, like to use the shadow. And somebody was like making a movie about that, like a short movie, Somali movie about that. But like the people in the countryside, they don't understand it. They're being offered a small money, and they're not even making big profits. It's the people that run the country that are making really big profits, and they're not even thinking about the future. You've seen in Baladwin, in Mogadishu, like all these floods. People have been losing their houses. It's really sad, and I understood why that's happening now. I never honestly, I never made the connection. I knew that like we're losing our trees and there's all these floods, but I never made the connection.
Yeah, either did I. That's why I loved what she said about that, the connection between that and the money. You know, tonight we're talking about money. We are talking about are you guys able to see what's behind me?
The Gupta, Lakin, that's like for the developing countries, right? Like in this neck of the world, I find that our relationship with money just comes down to bad knowledge, and the fact like there's the book that we're gonna talk about later, the Rich Dad Poor Dad. I suggest everybody who's listening go out get that book because it really did change my perspective on how we view money. It's stating that Anika, we've been raised to believe in securing a job, paying our bills, and just worrying about slow growth, right? Tartib, save your money and security and simply like working 40 hours a week. And that's the book. I suggest everybody get this book. The author was all about he had two dads. He had his biological dad, Oso Ordalay Oso Kuriye, and then he had his best friend's dad who was rich. His biological dad was educated, right? He was very book smart, but he wasn't street smart. And his best friend's dad was actually not book smart. He had only like, I think a grade 8 level or a high school level education. But he was very street smart and he was a risk taker. And the two takeaways was that the father kept on insinuating, telling his son at an early age, yeah, you have to you have to work for money. It's hard to get. It's very, very difficult. You have to break your back. You have to save your money. You have to worry about every penny. And then he got mentored later on in the book by his best friend's dad, the rich dad. And he said, the rich dad told him, what has it and all that stuff that your dad told you, throw it out the window. That's what's going to keep you poor. He says that rich people don't work for money, but they make their money work for them, right? They're able.
People, I think they missed that part.
They make their money whether it's 5,000, 10,000.
I can translate later.
They make so rich people don't work for money. They actually don't believe in working hard at all. They believe in working smart. And poor people believe in working hard, working with morals, working with like what's it called, getting vacations. They believe in like, you can't afford that, you shouldn't do that. They work out of fear.
Nagnol and Kadaxgalo, rich people do not work for their money. Their money work for them.
Exactly. And that's the that was my big, like, oh my God, takeaway, because they're able to see opportunity while the poor people can't see the opportunity because they're too busy working 40 hours. Their vision is blurry with like, I have to go to work, I have to pay these bills. They're constantly on fear mode, right? Whereas like for example, the great example was the Great Depression, like African lady was talking about. A lot of people, when economies crash, when bad things happen, a lot of people become millionaires from that. Because perfect example, there's a housing crash that everybody's waiting for, right? There's going to be a housing crash. There's going to be housing 2008, the recession. There was the biggest housing crash that happened in America. Most of the houses became like $5, right? If you had that $5, your best interest was to buy a house, to invest. Now, most of our Somali people, we were holding on to our Hegbit money. We were holding on to our Ayuta money, and we were like, no, we have to save it for when the world is about to end. Not recognizing you have $10,000 right now. The housing market crashed right now. Buy yourself a house so that can be an investment and an asset for you.
You don't know how to capitalize on opportunity. That's basically
no, because that's the rich dad, as much as he was loaded with knowledge, as much as he was educated, university educated, he was super, super smart, but he was so, he wasn't street smart. He just could not understand. And he kept on saying, I'm not interested in money. Money doesn't matter. He kept on telling his son, like, it's not even like he, manifested his poorness, right? Whereas the rich dad was like, what do you mean money doesn't matter? It's the one thing that matters. You have to learn about it. You have to know how it works, and you have to look for the opportunity.
No, I absolutely
Therefore,
agree with
he was
you.
rich.
Yes, I want to invite Mother of Sohan to the platform. Assalamu alaikum, welcome, happy Friday, TGIF. How are you?
I'm doing great, Walashi. Thank you for bringing me up. Like, I wasn't here when you started your topic.
Yes,
I would like to be down and,
yes.
listen and understand. And then, haddii aan wax ka fahmo, I'll be up and respond, inshallah.
Inshallah al khair. You're more than welcome to join us anytime, Walalo.
Thank you, sister. Thank you.
Okay,
Much
I will
time.
give it over to Kay. Kay, so a little bit of what's being said. We're speaking about money, financial wealth, financial health, financial gain, all about financial literacy. So take it away, Kay. Also, before I let you take it away, I want to respond back to Nagnol. Nagnol, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100% because even in my own personal life, I remember my dad being very strict when it came to healthy dialogue and conversation around money. He valued education over money. And I used to tell him, isn't the whole point to you get educated to get money, but if you have a way to get to the money, why would you not take that opportunity, Somali the badana waxay ku maamaada like qof lacag barte like nolol wuu ka dhacay or nolol ma barabo, all they care about is lacag waxbarasho ma jeclo. So, and it's very different how other cultures, when the child is born, they're already thinking about money. Before they even think about education, they're thinking about generational wealth. They're thinking about what can we install, whether it's, a TFSA fund, whether it's, our RESP, and how those things help like move them up the ladder. How they're able to have their children business kooda ku qoranayaan, lacag ay ka siinayaan, lacagtaas ay qaadanayaan, reinvestment ay ku sameynayaan. So they're thinking generational wealth when we're thinking almost on a poverty mentality. So I do agree with you there.
Thank you Macanto. Before I start translation ka ma aragtay waxaan rabaa inaan wallahi ku daro nagnol aan walaashay gabtay you're both 110% right boqolkiiba boqol waad saxsantiin sababtana waxa weeyaan waxaan u malaynayaa yacni waxay gadaal ugu noqotaa dhammaanteed relationshipka aad la leedahay lacagta imika abaya waxay ka hadashay abaya nagnol waxay ka hadashay buugan I think waan akhriyay muddo ka hor aan akhriyay ma xasuusta everything but it was really I remember aad wuxuu ahaa book information fara badan siiyay wax fara badan aan ka bartay perspective-kaaga nolosha oo dhan bedelaya book waad arkaysaa waxaa la dhahaa aabaha faqiirka iyo aabaha taajirka rich dad and poor dad xataa aad saawaan ku arkay bookan xataa Africa uu yaalaa baan u malaynaya isagoo different oo lahayn coverkiisa laakiin still contentiga waa isku mid marka boogani wuxuu ka sheekeynayaa ninkani wuxuu haystay laba qof oo wax u kala sheegayo oo labaduba waalid ah mid wuxuu ahaa saaxiibkii mid wuxuu ahaa wiilka ay saaxiibka yihiin aabihii midna wuxuu ahaa isaga aabihii marka waxyaabaha oo labadan qof ay ku kala duwanaayeen wuxuu ahaa mid traditional qof wax bartay yacni caadi dhaqanka aan anaga marno iskuulkii buu aaday wuu dhameeyey shahaado degree or whatever buu qaatay skill kadibna sidaasuu maad aragtay uu shaqada ku galay markastana wuxuu ka dhigay priority-giisa inuu shaqo secure gareeyo with benefits with everything you know education value-ga everything waa inaad waxaad baratid baad noqonaysaa xagga ninkan kale systemkiisu wuxuu ahaa you know what lacag haddaad haysatay investigare lacagtaadu ha kuu shaqaysa because markaad skill leedahay xataa dhakhtar aha waxa laga yaabaa imika Mareykanka iyo Canada iyo qofka ugu faraha badan qofka dadka lacagta ugu badan sameeyo waa dadka haysta skillka sida dhakhtarnimo oo kale iyo waxyaabaha laakiin inta aad shaqaysid baad helaysaa aniga imika 37.5 baan shaqeeya you know nobody is going to pay me a penny inta ka baxsan laakiin markaad lacagtaada investigareyso lacagtaada hurday shaqaynaysaa adoo vacation ku maqan bay shaqaynaysaa waxyaabaha ugu muhiimsan waxa weeyaan qofku inuu fahmo ay tahayna waa passive income inay lacag aanad adigu xoogaaga dididin inay ku soo galayso which means lacagtaadu inay ku shaqayso laakiin annagoo dhan I think xiriirka aan lacagta la leenahay waxa weeyaan we all came from yani xaalad markasta ay lacagtu adag tahay markii dhaweyd waani kaftameye lahaa the only thing aan ka xasuusta lacag markan ka fikiray is like hooyaday ama walaashay ama qof somebody aan lacag weydiisto igu la you know what aniga ba iguma filayntani lacag nagu filan ma haysana xagga lacagta ma xad maysa inay geedaha ka baxdo I remember wallahi my mom would tell me lacagta ma xad maysa inay geedaha ka baxdo mise xad maysa in beeraha laga soo guro you have to work hard for it waa inaad haddaad rabto inaad lacag samayso waa inaad waxbarashadaada dhamayso waa inaad kan samayso I don't think I would have ever been interested in education if it wasn't for money wallahi boqolkiiba boqol because waxaan aaminay waxa weeyaan traditionka haddaad yacnihi and waa wax isku soo noqnoqonaya generational wealth ma jirto because adigu waad shaqaynaysaa shaqada intaad samayso waa bills paycheck to paycheck because waxbarashada yacnihi it all goes back to ninkani wuxuu lahaa haddaad lacagtu aad adigu shaqaynayso adigu xoogaaga wixii aad ka iyo maskaxdaada wixii aad ka soo saarto unay tahay waa wax intay leeg ba shaqayn karaysaa because timekaaga waa limited timekaagu ma aha you don't have all the time in the world waxaad haysataa 24 baa maalinkii ku jira 8 waad hurdaa 8 meelahaasaad meeraysanaysaa daabad shaqaysa 6-7 saac then you're good laakiin waa inaad ka fikirto waxyaabo kale I think wax badan baan ka hadli doonaa sida waxaan ka hadli doonaa in qaabka investmentiga loo sameeyo qaabka aad waxyaabaha investmentyadu noocyada ay kala yihiin sida haddaad ma guri baad iibsan kartaa ma maxaa la dhahaa ma stock marketka ba inaad tagtid baa fiican ma anywhere xataa haddaad restaurant hadduu saaxiibkaa furaneed wax ku darsan karto you're gonna get a passive income from that hadda xataa $10 ku soo galaysa because you actually did not work for $10 lacagtii 5,000 beri hore dhiibtay baa shaqo ayaa samaysay so think about my Somali people my beautiful people waa inaad fahantiin maxaa la dhahaa wallahi idinka keligeen ma all of us waa inaan fahano xiriirka aan lacagta la leenahay. We're all anigu horta personally I'm traumatized by lacagta because all the only thing I can remember is inay siday u adagtahay, and I think walaaladay Nagnol iyo gabta labadaba way mar dhaweyd way ka dhawaajiyeen. Waxaan aaminsanahay lacagtu inay tahay waxa adduunka ugu adag ee la helay. You have to go through this degrees, you have to do your masters to get a little bit more. Hadda waxa laga yaabaa inaad siyaabo kala duwan aad ku samayn karayso lacag badan oo generational wealth aad ka tagi karayso, waxyaabo badan aad invest gareyn karayso. Laakiin ku dhaganow $100 hadduu gacantaada ka baxo, it's never gonna come back. You're gonna suffer. Subhanallah. I'm really excited that we're starting this conversation. I think it's the right time. MashaAllah. So inshallah
thank you so much. Amina, I will pass it over
Very
to
good.
you,
Very
darling.
good explanation.
Yes, what do you, rich dad, poor dad, opinion kaga makadiba nesa.
MashaAllah, wallahi, is well said. Wallahi, I have to agree with African lady and inshallah Gupta. Horta, I'm very happy that we're talking about money because money not only goes the world go round, it's power, it's greed, it's respect, it's value, it's interest, is money is not everything, but those who have it. Now we have to talk about the roots, the birth of money. The money, who invented, So African lady mentioned, wallahi, that very not only smart but intelligent aspect and theories when it comes to money and profits, revenue, when in the continent of Africa, right? So, like for example, 600 BC, before Christ, there were gold exchange. There weren't any money in the world. So people used to exchange with coins, gold platter. They were made of coins. There weren't any bills. So the lady that invented, I think she was, I believe I was reading this article, was it British? And yeah, Lydia, I think she's Lydia King. She's the inventor of coins back in the days. So iyada maskaxda gelisay and she invented. So the reason of that, siday u timiday, it's the gold and silveryaasha ee dadku use garanayeen nebiyaashii Iraqi Babylonian days, I guess. And yeah,
1971. Mabadered.
So
the global economy has undergone significant changes since money last clean connection to gold ended in 1971. 1971 وقت دير حتى
70s بقى wax kasti bills lagu bedelay and the war of recession after World War happened in Europe and Africa.
lacag la bilaab in la print gareeyo, inflation kor u qaado, and currency inuu isbedelo, devaluation dhacda, devaluation wax la dhahayaa dhacda,
inflation, and when there's a war, the inflation goes down, it decreases the value of money because there's currencies. And as the time goes by, 1980s ala soo galay, dadkii oo dhan dagaalo, all of that, it's currency get down u dhigaysa. So wallahi, African lady, she's absolutely right. I have to agree with her. When it comes to Africa, there's no currency, but they use as a plantation. And because Africa waxba ma soo saarin as of yet. The first country oo soo saari lahaa resource iyo import-export to the world was actually Somalia, right? There were factories and all of that.
I have no idea. Tell us more about that.
Shaka Claridge. But yeah, and no, I know. But and that's the reason I just, and Somalia, imika de Somalia dawlad caadi kama socoto, and wadaniyaasha hormaray aad ka hadlaysir and Gupta waa South Africa iyo waxa crypto.
Yeah, Ghana, Nigeria, all of those.
Somalia ma ku jirtaa, ma kuma jirto. Djibouti
My
like kuma
Somalia
jiro
is
ma.
not even on the map right now.
You see, it should
It's
have
not on the
been.
map. Yeah.
So it's
So
all about
n-
devaluing of money.
so
Yo,
so
go
no,
ahead.
Lady
but the
Africa would like to say something too. I was
I
gonna
like
give it
her.
back to her Nagnol.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
No, just to recap one last thing about that book. The biggest takeaway I wanted to share with everybody was that so he gives a couple of suggestions on how we can all be rich starting effective today. So Manta, waxaa ku bilaabi kartaa ayuu dhahay your personal relationship to wealth. The first tip he gives is you have to pick a reality greater than your thought hata to motivate you. What he means by this is to wake up your financial genius by empowering your mind. It all starts with the maskahda and living in a strong purpose. All rich people have this one thing in common. Madahan, oh, I want $10,000. Wahidahan, I want $10 million, $10 trillion,
They don't
right?
limit their success.
Ha.
Limitations, you know.
Limitation majiro, right? And then the next tip is to feed your mind, Udai. Feed your mind by acquiring and learning about actual mesha joktin. So I think African lady, she's in BC. Anika, we're in Toronto, learning about the taxes system, learning about, our area, acquiring like maybe a small business, learning how the taxes work and for it to work for
Even
you.
Nagnol, how about the halal interest? There's a bank, right?
Yeah.
Investment, halal investment. What
Every
is it?
bank,
What's a
every bank
Canada?
has it now. Every
Yeah.
so I was talking to my sister-in-law about this, and she said every bank, CIBC, TD, every bank has halal investment, and we believe, Anika, that the advisors are there for the rich people. No, you can go in with your $200 in your bank account, checking account, and literally make an appointment with a bank advisor tomorrow and put them to work. Hey, I've been banking with you guys this long. I would like the next 10 years to have this much money, and they will draw up a plan for you to get there, right? We don't utilize this. The other thing, the big thing was, he advises choose your friends carefully. Avoid people who always say the sky is falling instead of encouraging you to go after that $10 trillion. Avoid like broke-minded people, because rich people all have that one thing in common where they believe it's possible. And somehow opportunities land on their lap and they network amongst each other, right? And to look for opportunities. Constantly read, like, stop making it seem like money is not important to you, and going forward, make it the most important thing, because if you don't have it, you can't pay your bills, you can't eat your food, pretty much life stops. It's, let's be honest about it. So those are the three big takeaways that he said. It was number one, your mind, expand your mind, stay away from people who are constantly operating from a place of fear, or dahayan, maya negative, the sky is falling, save your money for a rainy day. Don't save your money, invest your money, look for opportunities, take that risk. Just take it. And use your local bank to, if you have questions, go to your local bank and ask them, how does this work? And they have to. This is what they're there for. I don't think I've ever went to my CIBC before this year and said, hey, teach me how I can get the next 5 years from this level to this level, and the next 5 years, 10 years from this. Really, I've never done that. This year I actually did.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu Sabrina. So wow. Lady Africa, I want to give the mic back to you. Talk to us about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and anything else that you have wanted to add.
Always, as a human being, we always have a goal, okay? And usually the rich people, well, the typical people who are influenced in a money, they are not like us. We depend on one
income, okay? But there are those who have a first income, second income, third income, fourth income to 10th. And let me explain to you, like the first income is where you go and work Monday to Friday, and the money that you get, it goes to the rent, it goes to electricity, it goes to water, it goes to internet, it goes to house insurance, it goes to telephone, and so on. So there is something called second income. Second income, it's whereby you put money in it and you get maybe every after 3 months or every after 4 months something good. Okay? That is the second income. Second income, the first income is what you use daily for Monday to Friday or from January to December. You use the first income. The second income is whereby when you need like clothes, you will need shoes, you have to change your car during the summer, you have to paint a different color. During the winter, you have to paint a different color. Or maybe you have 2-3 cars, which is seasonal cars. Every season you have particular cars and you use it for it. And you also do other maintenance. Then there is a third income, which comes maybe every after 3 months or every after 4 months. And third income is whereby maybe if you want to travel during holiday, even a long weekend, you don't have to spend here in this house. A long weekend is coming, I'm going for Costa Rica. Okay, next time there is a long weekend coming, I will go to Brazil. Next one again, there is a long weekend, I have to go this and that. For that one is for leisure, okay? Money for leisure, third income. There is a fourth income, which they usually put in case of any disaster, in case of any problem comes. Maybe that the fourth income, it comes maybe every after 3 months, every after 6 months, something like that. Twice or 3 times in a year. Where do that money will go? Any time that disaster comes, they have to use it for it. You never know what can come, okay? So there is a fifth income, which is yearly vacation, yearly something, goal for the year to put on something, maybe something new came to buy for it, maybe house or here or something else to put it, down payment and so on. It will pay back by itself later through by rental or other means, okay? Or even you can make an Airbnb. The day that you have a people, let them sleep. They don't have it, clean, tie and neat, and then use it as your office or maybe for something else. Even for YouTube, even for something to record it. That's how they do. That's how people invest money, and that's how they related with money. And those people, you will not see them buying a brand clothes that has a brand name or bags that has a brand name
Yep.
or
Bing
brand name
bong.
shoes.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
they
true.
just look like a simple. And you will definitely see how they have that influence of money, the way they are so calm when you go to eat what they choose to eat, okay? And like the way they sit, the way they talk, and so on. They will not show off. So always money, before anything, think first, where do you want to be? Or will you like to have? Yeah.
Exactly. African lady, you said another big part that I forgot. The way they spend their money is so different because they literally know, they don't spend money at all on clothes and things that have no value or asset. If it's not an asset, if their money cannot make money, they don't see any value in spending it. So if they want to buy that dress in Zara, they literally say, you know what, I'll put it in my budget for next 2 months. I go to the mall, York Del. Oh, I like, okay, looks good. Oh, I don't even have where I'm gonna wear it to. I just say, inshallah, when I just leave it in my closet. No, they literally pre-plan their shopping if necessary.
Do you know like when this kind of education about the land, about the flood and so on that I was learning, You know how much was it? It was not offered in the university as a regular. They just brought for one time. They offered for those who can able to pay for it, and they wrapped everything. To go back, you cannot find it. Okay? So sometime when they bring something just for one time, who will go? Those who are able is the one will go. Whoever who doesn't able for will not go, and will never know even what does it exist in this world, or how do things they can get offer. We are in a big mess as a country, but nobody knows like where to start or how can we go from there where we are today for 5 years at least
Lady
to be in
Africa,
a better way.
most people don't feel safe. There's this notion around, oh, people do want to go back to the home country. They do. There's a lot of people that I meet that want to go and take themselves and their knowledge and their resources. But when you have a lack of safety present on a consistent basis and just
I'm
rocky,
scared too. Yeah.
we need to execute that first. We need to fix that foundation before we can even think about fixing anything. How do you fix something where you're not welcomed? You know?
Okay. By then, remember that when the floods and everything comes and wash away the whole entire of the country, then whom do we have to blame to? Or whoever that we can blame to will also be also affected. And then what to do? Do they even know what to do? What will be the solution? The solution, they can get a big, huge trees, a smaller one, a better one, that for one-time plant. Okay, that's a food. Mango is one-time plant. Okay, and it usually have a very big roots to hold the soil, everything together. Okay, what do I call? They can go even all the way to West Africa and bring cocoa to the country. They can bring the the palm oil to the country, where the oil is very healthy and way better, and it's a one-time plan. Oranges are one-time plan. Coffee is one-time plan. It's not even a garden that you are working for from January to December. Things that people are not one-time plant are beans, corn, maize, and beans, and what do I call maize, beans, whole wheat, and sorghum, millet. Those things they have to plant by every after 3 months or 4 months. But everything else is one-time plant. Lemon is one-time plant. Orange is one-time plant. Guava is one-time plant. Pomegranate is one-time plant. Coffee the same as that. Tea leaves is same as that.
Right.
Then we have to look at food that is for one-time plant, so that it will not consume labor and it will not consume your time plus the land. Still underneath, you can still able to plant. Once they grow big, you can still plant underneath for corn, for maize, for beans, for sorghum, for millet, anything you can plant that you can use it as a grain. Come on, guys.
Absolutely, Lady Africa. I wanted to welcome Siada Kahan. Welcome, sis. Salaam alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Waa idin dhegeysanaaye.
MashaAllah.
Waa salaam dhammaantiin.
Shadow macanta.
Waa dhawaa.
Would you like wax maad rabtay inaad nagu darsato?
Maya waa idin dhegeysanaaye lee bas.
Waad mahadsantahay. You know waxay Lady Africa ka hadlaysa, I think it's a disaster wadankeeni ka jirta, waa dhibaato weyn oo wadanka ka jirta. And I absolutely agree with her. Like hadaa berri wadanku baabao, who are we gonna blame? Like qof hadaa anaga dhan hadaan idhaahno, you know what, qofkan ama mas'uulka ama dowladda mas'uulka ama maxaa la yidhahdaa, xal laguma gaadhayo sidaas. Waa inaan anaga wixii aan samayn karo.
I have a question. So, Kate, haddaan
Waa run dhalinyaradiina la rabaa annaga dadka hadda waaweynaada culus waadaan nahay.
idinka baa la rabaa mentorshipkiina la rabaa idinka
Aklianiga
experience
buuxo and KA, I have a question about you. So according Boogie hadirtan Rich Dad Poor Dad hadii aan isticmaalno wuxuu na bare waxa waaye inaan baxno we have to go and buy land. Horta buying land is first and foremost anywhere here or there. Xagga hadaan ka gato hadda over there African lady, if I go back home and I buy myself a few quarters of land here and there, maaragte, how is that an investment for me?
Okay, depend where you get and what you have a plan for it. If you buy a big land, then plant one time and do farming and plant for one time plant. One time plant are fruits, okay? If you have energy, use for apples to plant underneath. Once they reach like after 2-3 years, give them. Because those big trees, they have to take some time to catch the soil and everything, okay? So you do it. And then still underneath, you can plant anything that you want. One time plant, you will be harvesting every 4 months in one time. Or sometime, every month there is a different fruits that people will be eating. One, that's a good thing. Second, if you make like a tea, every day you need to have a little kind of machinery that you have to make the tea, because every day you have to cut the tea leaves. By 2 p.m. you have to make the machinery, and then by 5 you can sell the tea on the market. You can do that. 3, coffee is one of the top in the whole entire of the world. You plant it and you use it and you make the coffee. 4, you can make the cocoa. Cocoa is chocolate and cocoa, cacao, and so everything can be used. Even juice can be used. 50, you can make nuts. Nuts like cashew nut is one time plant. You make the nuts, like pepper, green pepper or yellow pepper. It comes like that, the front, which is like the stick, is the nut. The down one, you can make apple cider. You can make vinegar, and you can make kombucha.
Yeah,
Okay.
but all this food that I'm planting, how can I make money? The goal is not,
Okay.
once again, I have to get out of my poor mentality, right?
I think what you're asking
Listen to me. If you make all those kind of plant, people will not come and buy from you. You
But
cannot
they're
make
not
a
allowed
small.
according to certain.
You cannot sell
According
even
to
within the farm. You can save labor, and you can tell like the people to come to the farm and let them cut what they want, and you sell it.
locally.
Yes, locally. Or if you don't want to locally, you can do it, my dear, and you can
No,
do the
there's so
best.
many.
With
There's so
us with
many
neighboring
laws.
countries.
There's so many
You
laws
can trade with
against
neighboring
exporting.
countries, can you not?
Why do you care about export? Okay, you don't care about export. What you care is the common nation. What you sell your common nation will be very better compared to abroad, where there is a full of competition. And even if you want to sell it to outsider, you only need to have the labeling, to label what is inside in here. What are the quantity of sugar? What are quantity of oil? What are quantity of juice? What are quantity of this?
It needs to
So
pass
that's all.
the health test.
No, I think that's within the African continent. But when you want to leave Africa, there's many obstacles because certain countries just can't export to here in Canada or America or Mexico. There's
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? This country we are, they are the biggest tax you will never recognize into this world. They do collect, they do rent land, okay, from ranch group. You know the ranch? Have you ever had
a ranch
The ranches?
land in
Yeah.
Africa. Okay, they do rent those one, and everything they plant, they do pack and send it to here. That's all what they do. So sometime you see all over there selling English breakfast tea. Since when Britain had a tea in that land? It never had.
They're
Okay?
known for that. That's the funny thing.
Yeah. The Kateva tea comes from Kenya, and there is a tea comes from China and India. Nowhere else that
It's
comes
true. The
tea.
coffee, yeah, it's true.
The coffee, number one coffee is the Ethiopian coffee and
Yeah.
Kenyan coffee and Turkey. In abroad, it's only Turkey has a coffee, nowhere else. And Brazil and Costa Rica and Mexico, they do have a coffee. But all those one, it doesn't even satisfy because the Brazilian and the Mexican and the Costa Ricas and so on, they also consume coffee more than even the Canadian. So this coffee comes all the way from Africa. By them, they do rent the land. When you buy a big, huge land and everything, they do rent. Thirdly, you buy a land. If you don't want to farm it, you can just build it and then rent. Collect the rent. Simple.
You know what? That is something that I haven't really read on or looked into, that I will definitely be looking into. The renting the ranches and the farms is a different story. That's
Magnolia.
very
Ranch,
interesting.
anything called like a ranch, Somali they don't have, and they don't even know.
No, I think they have it. I think they have it. The
No,
same
no,
with
no,
Somalia.
no. Ranch, those who have a ranch is South Africa. What do I call? Zimbabwe, Kenya, Zambia,
Kenya, yeah.
Tanzania, and Gambia. Nowhere else. And Togo, they do have Togo and Chad. Nowhere else you can get a ranch. Nowhere. Is this kind of a system? It's called ranch. Ranch is a big, huge group that buy a big, huge land for what do I call? For investment or for farming or for something.
Cattle, livestock.
Cattle, because they have the
No, those
safari.
ones are called Mayata. Forget about those ones. No. It's not like that.
I
These
think they
are
have
heavy
ranches in
industry.
Maxamed ماشي مقدشو with what is it called? Afgoye.
No. Ranch. Let me explain to you what the do ranch mean. Okay. Ranch means a big, huge group of elite. Okay. Like how many are we here? We are 4, right? Huh?
Yes.
The host, she's the one who have a broad license in Saudi Arabia of business. Okay, I have a license in China. Nagnol has a license in Europe, and you have a license in Latin America. Okay. And we are big, huge group. We are giant, economical giant. Okay? And then what we buy is a government land is what we buy. A huge one. Very huge. 2 hours of driving square kilometers. No matter how much speed you use, 2 hours square. And then for that one, when we take it that one, you know, we put inside there is what we put the factories. Okay, the plant, the factory, the warehouse, everything is together, and it goes direct to the custom. Okay, or it goes direct to the airport. And maybe we have also, don't forget that we have airline companies.
Don't forget that we have shipping companies, our own.
Yeah, Uganda, I'm
We don't
reading
deal
here,
with
has a
someone
big one
else.
for sugar canes.
Yeah. So
I think
for that one, the elite people that have those one are well known. It appears into the book, some of the books.
Oh, okay, no, thank you for the explanation, African lady. I
Yeah,
think they
it's called
improvise.
ranch.
I think they
Huh?
improvise the word because they call themselves ranch. Even like when I was in Ethiopia, I went outside Addis Ababa, where places they have like a farm, they have horses and stuff like that. But they call it like if you Google them, they call themselves like X ranch, Y ranch, like they call themselves. So I understand now how it's different. But I was gonna say to Nagnol about the land. I think to be really to profit from farming and land and all that, you have to be willing to where you're doing that. That should be the first step. Because as haganan ku noolahay, we're like in Canada. If you buy land in Africa, I don't think you can profit from renting unless it's a big mansion or a big plaza where you're renting a different stores. But if it's just one building, I don't think you can make money out of it, because the thing with building houses, and I'm gonna say this because a lot of Walid Kenya, those kuyi mid 90s, they all build houses in Africa. Gurihii imika way dumi rabaan, lacag lagama samayn badan. Hadda xataa lacag laga sameeyo, it goes back to the people in the country. Like you're never gonna see qof guri Africa kulaho lacag xaggan loogu soo diro. I don't know hadda idinka.
It goes to the maintenance and the upkeep, majority
But
of it.
here's the thing. I think Walidinta, our parents, wallahi, there was a big influx one time where all the parents, they would work. I think mashallah, they were on the right mindset where they bought a bunch of land, right? And now we need to put the 21st century thinking on how to make money off of that land.
Yeah. This is the thing though. Let
Can I
me
tell you something?
I always think about security for our country
Not
before I even think
not
about
just the security, Gupta. Let me tell you one thing.
Can I just invite? Can I just interrupt you one thing here?
Go ahead.
So having property or wealth. Let me call wealth, okay? Having wealth, it never gets two mothers or two fathers. Or it never gets like a dad or a mom. It only one person owns. Because as a one person, you are the only one who knows the goal that you are heading to. Okay? So what I mean, in short, let me just explain to you what I mean. Like I will be here in Canada and I will tell like somebody to do for me this or that. It will not work. Definitely. That's all what I mean. So whenever place that you put your money, you have to be present in it until you see everything have
I think that's what
has a
Kay was saying.
stand.
I think
Yeah.
that's what Kay was saying right now.
Yeah.
But it's time for us to actually just
No,
finish what they
let me
started.
explain to you a little
You
bit
buy
because
the
you've
land and
seen that.
then give me some later. Just one.
I
A
will.
small space.
Let
I
me
will.
explain. Let me explain to you, Nagnol, as someone who actually like bought land in back home, because there's this idea of like you can make money off that land, in the long run. But this is what people don't understand. If you buy a land today for like $20,000, in 5 or 10 years, it could be like 40,000 or 35. You could make money out of it, but the money you're making, wallahi, it doesn't make sense. Let me explain to you. قصداً aniga aan u sameeyay investmentigayga aan waxna u faa'iidin. Imika tusaale ahaan oo kale, Muqdisho dhulka iibsatay, waxaad iibsatay 1,000 yaardi ama 500, like it's just boss yar oo guri laga dhisi karayo. Shan waxaad ku iibsatay kasoo qaad $20,000, shan sano kadib 30,000 bay noqotay. I understand lacagtaas waa investment, laakiin 20,000 maanta gelisay, it just have the same value bay leedahay haddaanad waxba dhulkii aan wax kuu qabanin, wax kuu soo kordhinin. Maad fahantay? That's how I understand. Like The other thing waxa weeyaan, we think about businesses and stuff like that in Africa, like just the same way African lady was just explaining now. Farming is one of the things that really needs you to be there. Like you have to be hands-on. You have to be with the people, specifically like if you're doing an investment and there's two things. You either don't trust the people that are working for you. They're not going to be 100% honest with you. The second thing waxa weeyaan, adiga hadana joogin, you have the brain for the business. You know what you're leading to. Iskuma keenaysan qofka. It's not gonna be the same with your mom or anybody else.
Listen
You know where
to
you're
me,
heading to.
Kadanaya.
Yeah.
Walaalo, listen to me, okay? You know, my Somali people, they lack something called concentration and they lack something called accountability, okay? And like, for example, there is this Lua guy in Nairobi. He married. He have young children. And by the way, he's not that old. He's, I think, 41-year-old now. Okay? This guy, he has 2 degrees and 3 masters. After all, he couldn't get a job or anything that will be suitable. The guy, he goes to the restaurants and ask them, like the restaurant, if I bring to you all the vegetable that you need, buy from me. I'll get for you a fresh one, nice one, this one, that one. So the guy, he goes to the market and get a fresh vegetable and distribute all over Nairobi. All the restaurant that goes to the big people, you know, those higher standard. Okay, the Somalis restaurant, the big hotels, everywhere. He goes every evening, he will go to the market and get the fresh vegetable and buy it and distribute all over around. In the morning, he will go and he will collect his money. The guy, he has been doing like that, and he has, I think, 4 children or 3 children. 2 of his first kids are a boy and a girl. They're in late of elementary. They're, I think, class 7 and class 8, somewhere there. The girl, she's she's 11 years old. And the boy, he's bigger than her, maybe 1 year, something like that. So this guy, he opened a place for chicken, okay? Where chicken, production of chicken is what he bought. So where these chicken are keeping, this chicken people will buy as alive or will buy as they have been slaughtered. Or they can buy as alive and then they will be slaughtered and then they will clean up and then they will go with it. Okay? It's a farm. So this farm, this man, this farm, he put workers. He put camera. He's watching on his phone. His children, when they come from the school, they have to come to the farm and work the workers, help the workers. And sometimes they're the one who will be taken over for during the daytime. In the evening, they're the one who will be doing all the calculation. They are carrying their books. They will be doing their homework there. And the guy is watching on his phone. The wife, she's running a place that has a barber and also has a salon. Salon and the barber together is what she's running. And a small kind of like an ice cream shop for where people, when they're waiting there, they eat ice cream. And the ice cream they make from the scratch. Okay? So the wife, she's maintaining this side. There is a car wash on the corner. People who are waiting for the salon, their car will be cleaned if they pay. They eat and they drink there. They buy something.
there is a little place for entertainment for kids. So the wife, she's running that particular business is like a small kind of plaza that has a few things and very unique, by the way, is what she's running for. And the dad, the husband opened for her there, and he said, you know what? Either you maintain, either you lose. These are yours. So the wife, she's trying to work hard to make money because she's very standard. And then now these two kids, he tell them like, you know what, you guys, if you don't maintain every evening coming here after school, coming here and helping the workers, okay, and cleaning and doing the calculation for everything, you will go for government school. You will not be going for private, because your private school money comes from here. Okay? And he's watching any kind of mistake that is happening there. For him himself, what does he do now? He's a big millionaire, that guy. He goes to the bank. Every day he will be looking, he goes from one bank to the other, looking for auctions, houses that are going through auction, properties that are being auctioned, and so on. And during the daytime, he's distributing. Already he got a lot of workers that he trained them to take all the vegetable to everywhere. Now he no longer go to the market and buy the vegetable there. He goes to the farm and get the vegetable from the farm. And
Sister, what's his name again? What's his name?
Huh?
What's his name?
He's called Steve. You don't know, but I know him. He's a Luo guy. Yeah. From Kenya. Okay.
Okay, if you could go to the moral of the story, please. Thank you.
Yeah. So if someone coming from anything that you want to do from your own, it's very good. Just go do it. You have nothing to lose. Okay? If you just buy an empty land, and then what can you do? You just make fence and make a hole for what do I call, for graduation ceremony. People can rent, or weddings or prayers. People can do something good on it. If it's an empty land that you have nothing to build on it. Yeah. There is always something you can do. By the way, there is a what do I call? Do anybody did development, international development, or community-based project and planning and management?
No. Little bit on
If you do that, it
electric,
will
but
help
no.
you, because I am a coach. Okay. I am a development consultant and I am a coach.
MashaAllah.
No,
No,
that's great.
MashaAllah.
Honestly, I have seen a lot of people like the same story that you were talking about it right now in Somalia, in Ethiopia, where somebody starts with nothing and they got to a point where they pretty much own everything in the city. And wallahi, at the end of the
It's
day,
opportunists. They are the rich dads. They're the ones who see
yeah,
opportunity and jump on it.
it's also like the 1%. We shouldn't forget that. It's like the 1%.
If
Or the
anyone comes
10%.
from a very drought place, by the way, you can get the land and you can just put a small kind of simple roof and put all kind of collect a huge number of solar and distribute that solar to the whole entire of the village. You will be getting money by monthly.
No, you're absolutely right. You know what I say though, personally, if you're starting a business, if you have like any kinds of background, whether it's in healthy, whether it's in like beauty, I would say if you're starting a new business, start a business, even if it's a restaurant, start a business that you know. Like if the chef is not coming today, then you should be able to step in. If you're an engineer and you're up in a hospital or something, I don't think you would be successful. So knowing or like having that kind of background knowledge in
No, actually, Kay, it says most of the advisors that start businesses, they say the opposite. They say that your job is to find people to run it. You can't be the smartest person in the room. You
Like,
pretty
let me
much
tell you something, okay? Let
invest
me tell
in
you
the
something.
people who run the
For
business.
example, she said that like you cannot run a hospital. Listen, if you build a very good facility for health, you just build everything and put it there down and all the tools and everything that is needed. The professional people will come and rent you a place. Simple as
Exactly.
that.
I
And they will
definitely
come up
understand.
with the
Okay,
quality of
okay.
the
Try to
quantity.
understand me, guys. I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying as a startup, if you're starting a business like a small business, you should be good at it. Like unless if you have money and then you have people who can work for you, you can build the place, you can furnish, you can get the smartest doctor in the city, and then they will run it. That's okay. But I'm saying like if you're starting a small business, it should be something that you're familiar with.
No, most of these investors aren't familiar with anything that they invest in. They learn, they say, let me get the investment and then learn on the job and get people who are smart enough.
Small business, and let me tell you, I had no idea what I was doing, and it was during the pandemic. And I think a lot of us that start small businesses, we are the front of our business. We are self-educating ourselves in our business. We are looking for resources for our business. All
No,
of
but
these things you're doing.
we're talking about investments.
Oh, hold on. This person said farming depend on the environment too. No, you know, any kind of environment you can do in everything. If it's a very dry sub-Sahara in Africa, if it's some place like that, you can still able to plant something called hydro farming. Just to go and Google what's called hydro farming, and then you will see. You don't even need to dig the ground. Yeah. Go and Google and see what's called hydro farming.
Have your green
Simple.
build in there, you can move it. You know, there's a lot of things happening in Africa. I just feel like some people just might not really be in tune because of all the negative things coming out of Africa. So yes, Nagnol, I'm just saying I think what Kay is saying is important because I get where you're coming from, but I think that's when you expand your business. You're looking at it from an expansion aspect. And she's
No. I'm looking at it from like when you're talking about small business, like I have a small business, you're right. When you're doing a small business, it's like it doesn't generate that much income. It's like
Exactly.
it's a small, it's very minute. What I'm talking about is getting rich.
And getting investment. I completely
Investment.
understand. I completely understand. The
And
reason
what you said is
I say that is because I've seen people like my cousin. She started a restaurant. She's not even good at cooking. If the chef is not coming today, then the business is shut down. Like it shouldn't be like that.
no.
Yeah, that's
وحست
what I'm saying.
وقلت.
Like I just have learned from her experience that if you're not really good at this, like if you started a beauty business, salon hadad furayso oo kale, you should know the basics. Makeup kade, if the makeup lady is sick today, then you
Yeah.
should be able to do the makeup. That's what I'm saying.
No, a small business is completely different from getting rich. Like the
Exactly.
getting the
Nagnol
means.
is stuck on getting rich, you guys.
Yeah,
I swear to
Bayo.
God.
Because
Yeah,
I
that's,
want
I
Nagnol, we
love
I
spoke
that.
about
I
it.
like
love that.
honest to God, I feel like our community, we are so smart and there has never been so much money on earth. There's no
Yeah,
reason for us to be broke. There's absolutely no
absolutely.
excuse.
Everything. No, Nagnol, I like your I like the way you think, you know what I mean? But is getting rich the most important thing, or is having generational wealth the most important thing? Because to be rich and to be financially stable and secure, to me, is completely different things. You know, I think Lady Africa spoke on it, you know, when she spoke about the four, I believe it was 4 or 5 different categories of how to manage your money. You know what I mean? When it comes to saving up for your health, if you're ever sick, when it comes to paying the bills, when it comes to, you know, having a vacation, like leisure time, there's just different aspects. So even when we started the conversation tonight, we started it with what does money mean to you? You know, before we can even come together collectively as a society or as a community to even understand that, we have to be able to understand it for ourselves, then be able to understand it for our family, right? And then what it means from the, like, for the outside, further for our communities. So I always want to disassociate, like, I always disassociate what it means to be rich versus what it means to be wealthy. And I think there is a difference. You know what I mean? I think it's sustaining your community, your family, and your society. That's wealth. Because you can be rich today and be
Yeah,
broke
but
tomorrow. We
that's the
see many people win the
richness.
lottery and just blow that
No,
up, you
richness
know?
is the road to wealth. You gotta be rich first. Level one is rich, and then second is wealth later on, and then, you know,
Wealth
you
is what
get
we
that.
need to be focusing on, is what I like.
Yeah,
Wealth is
period.
where it's at. Rich is tangible. You can be rich for a
Exactly.
couple of years and you can lose that. You know what I'm saying? So off to our next topic.
You know, the first,
Are you guys
I just wanted to share قابتا markii ugu horeysaan maqlay in يعني difference u dhaxeeya rich iyo wealth in adeer oo qaraabo xaaskiisa aan qaraabanahay baan gurigiisa tagay wuxuu ahaa he was technically from Djibouti لكن shaqo u joogay at Tawa, and then he was doing all this kinds of lavish things, and I was like, Ader, you're rich. And he was like, Ader, make no mistake, I am not rich, I'm wealthy. And I was like, what does that even mean?
There's a big difference.
And that's when he explained it to me. He was like, if I today hada aniga fariisto, aniga iska daf, even my kids are secure.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
MashaAllah.
That's what I'm hoping for.
That's the
Like,
goals. That's future
that's
goals.
the goal. You know, that's the goal that we need to be focused on. People don't necessarily, they look at fame, they look at rich, and there's wealth. You know what I mean? And I think Lady Africa and all of you ladies touched on it, like especially the part where she said like there's that one part where she talked about like building a foundation. You know, when you're building a foundation and you're thinking about like even in the future, your legacy, what is it that you want to leave behind? You know what I mean? You can't really think too much like just for right now. You know, you can get money, but what does the value of that money mean? And a lot of the times, like the way that we think of money, it's like, okay, let me take care of the necessities. Money equals to necessities. Money equals to, I need a roof over my head. I need money to be able to feed myself and my children or whatnot, or your family. I need money to go see healthcare, like if you ever get sick or you need a doctor. So money is tied into things that are a need, a survival, right? We're not looking at money as our legacy. What are we leaving behind to this world, right? So when we look at it that way, I was looking at the news today, and here in Canada, in Toronto, we have a 25% increase in rent, right? So when I looked at that, and then I said, okay, what does this mean? Are you guys able to see this behind me? Like a recession. How could this recession affect like
This is an opportunity. See, what opportunity. You can't fear this stuff. Recession iyo markaa maqashid, economy crash markaa maqashid, and housing market going down. That's when you put your ears to the, like, you know what I mean? In financial news, you talk to your advisors and you actually read. That's where they get rich. Stock markets, that's where the rich really take advantage of
do you
things.
believe the stock market is gonna crash with the quantum AI that Tesla has just introduced? Because I always think about that. I'm like, these things, the AIs and the quantums that are being produced by Tesla and the Chat GPT, is this gonna make like the world banks crash, you know? especially during this
I'm buying my stock. I'm buying my stock in Chat GPT. I think I've talked about this in the AI marka ka hadlaynay. It's right now. It's not public. It's private. You can buy Chat GPT stocks through Microsoft, and you can buy it from your local. You just go to TD. Tell them, hey, you're interested in buying a stock. They give you a tax-free account to Kusinayan. It's $300 right now. I don't know. I believe in Chat because I use it. I see how nice it is. I see how convenient it
I
is.
cannot believe my university is planning this. Like, I was counting on doing all my work on ChatGPT.
The universities are going to
Kay.
build data systems. They have put
You
data
can.
systems. Well, we will run your essay through it, and if
Maya,
you're
Maya, not for
sending
essays.
back,
Yeah, they
No,
said
no,
it's
not
gonna
for
grade
essays.
them.
Not for essays, Kay. Don't even try for essays. But you can use Chat for like your small business, your nonprofit, your. You
generate
can write a
ideas.
whole.
I want to use for this essays because they take all my time. I could get
Maya,
rich in
Maya,
that.
Maya, 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 Maya. Don't even think about it.
Belton, you're gonna get expelled, my friend. But do you guys think these things are gonna dump people down on their IQ level? Because people are just not gonna put 1 + 1 2. They're not gonna work out anything. I feel like they're dumbing people down, you know?
Abayo, you know what I learned in university? I really learned in university. Not
I learned
everybody's
it's
as
not what
smart
you
as
know,
I
it's
thought
who
it
you
was.
know.
It's not really. Wallahi billahi. I thought the most smartest, most intelligent people were going to No, that's not the case. So I don't know. People are already dumb.
Honestly, let me tell you this: with my ADHD, it takes like 20 hours to write because I'm like going back and forth, you know. So if we could use ChatGPT, I think it would. I could use that time to get rich.
You will get expelled. You heard it right here in WST.
You
Do
can't
not.
say we didn't tell
And I
you.
repeat,
That's
do
the
not.
only time I advise against Chat. Anything else, do it. Use it as a hobby for your businesses, for your nonprofits.
You guys, I wanted to ask, like, what do you guys think? Like, what do you think the advantages and disadvantages are moving forward for, like, you know, Africa, like, you know, here in Canada, like, you know, the countries that they consider third world countries? Like, do you guys think these are gonna be an advantage for us or a disadvantage for us, and how so?
What do you mean? An AI currency or like just the money concept of digital currency?
Like the digital currency, does it enhance global trade and investment? Does it intensify competition in economy? Or is there an uncertainty, like when it comes to the advantages and disadvantages of that? Like, is it gonna enhance like global trade for Africa? You know what I mean? Is it gonna enhance us when it comes to investing in our country?
An African lady would
And is
probably
it gonna
know more
cost,
about
like, is
this,
it gonna
but
cost
in
intense
general,
competition?
I
Intense
believe
competition, Munosamena, you know? Like, what are the advantages of having this and the disadvantages of these digital currencies?
Okay, so these digital currencies are really closely linked to leadership, and Africa's leadership sucks. So it's like at the end of the day, you're only as good as your leadership when it comes to these things going well for your country. It's not privatized. It's like, you know what I mean? So I believe it has its advantages right now, but once it gets to a level of like real trade, like this stuff is like the Hunger Games, right? And at the end of the day, it's like the Game of
By the way, I
Thrones.
have never really watched the Hunger Games. I don't
Okay,
even.
but you seen Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I've seen things here and there. I'm not big on.
Okay, so Game of Thrones, it's similar to that in my opinion. So whichever castle or whatever your what's it called, government, how strong it is how well your people are gonna do. And the fact that we couldn't even get the concept of regular money, and we're just asking each other like right now, what is money? What is, like, we're just learning it now. Marki laga tagay, like feeling is almost over. they're leaving this right now.
Yeah, it's sad.
And
We're just
I, for one,
Yeah.
had the liver. Like, I just tuned into money, and they're leaving to go to digital currency. So, I mean,
Oh my God. We can never catch up.
yeah.
Let me tell you this though. Let me tell you honestly, I know personally, I don't even like. I can only trust money as money if I can see it, like property, wealth, whatever. You can't tell me dhulkan waan dhisaya imika iga iibso within the coming 5 years guri uu noqonaya, because I've seen people who do that, you know. But with me, I think it's like my African backward mentality. I need to see what you're. I need to see what I'm buying. So it's something that's online. I think it's gonna take a minute for me to like actually see as money or as something that has a
That's the
value.
poor dad mentality.
Exactly, and that's a lot, and that's how a lot of African people are gonna operate. Like a lot of, specifically like the investors, the rich people in Africa, they're gonna be like, "Lacagan an arkino intan oo ku dhex jirta computer ka. Thank you. We're not gonna invest in that."
Or they'll just be like, let me see you do it. If it works for you, then call me. Then I will try. You know, you're right. People do need to see that visual. We're lacking on risk taking. Yeah, that's what I think. We're not risk takers like that when it comes to finances. And I think it goes back to just what Lady Africa said, or African lady. She just said, like, you have to plan. And people are stressed from the things that you need. Like, it's not a want. To have like clean water is not a want, it's a need. You need water to survive, like you need oxygen. And when you're putting all of your money and resources into a need, there's a sense of fear that comes with that, you know? And that puts a stop to being a risk taker. And I think a lot of these guys that work in Wall Street or anything with financial management and financial literacy, look into them. They're big risk takers. Because
you know, what I wanted to add to, I'm sorry for the interruption. It's you're absolutely 110% right, but there is something else. I think to be a risky taker, unless you really try and you really work on yourself, you have to come from a privilege, because you have to have a place to come back to. Because a lot of these people had a little bit of privilege at least, so if everything crashes today, they can just come back and be like, you know what?
It's not true. When Canada, the Great Depression, when the Great Depression happened, a lot of people came from Europe to Canada, right? And they literally came with nothing. But because they came, it was opportunity meets preparation kind of thing. What you guys said earlier about locating, going to the location, putting up your house, staying there to build something for a long period of time, builds generational wealth. Right? They took advantage of the situation. There's no going back. It's like all in. They believe in something greater than you, you know?
Okay, so equation though there. How about if everything crashes? I'm just having a genuine conversation here.
Maya, we can't think like that. This is poor dad mentality. You can't think like that. What if it doesn't?
Wallahi, I believe everybody who could like just take a risk, a lot of the people who get rich easier. Look at community that if you born poor, you're more likely to be poor forever. You're more likely to survive, get your education together, get that salary, get that benefits, but never rich. If you see, and what I'm saying is valid, because you can see actually community sida u fikiraan, if you dadka hadad aragtida qof lacag ka dhashay, because they always have that kind of, you know what, like if everything crashes, you can always come back to your dad's and work at his warehouse or factory. Hadda dadka laakiin maxaa la dhahaa oo
they
faqiirka
set these kids up, sorry to interject, but the way that privileged people, they look at their kids differently than a way that an African family will look at their child. Let's speak about it. Yeah. Me right now, my dad will look at me as I'm an investment to him. He will look at me as, and it's not just him, it's everybody. That comes from there. It's like, I want to have multiple kids because I'm not sure what this one is going to be up to. One could be bad. One can die. Who's going to take care of me? You know what I mean? White, like, privileged people set their children up so that they can be secure. There's security versus investment. I want this child to have X amount of dollars by the time they go to high school. I want them to have their education paid off. That's going to give them more capital to go and do what they need. I want to put money aside so they can start a company while they pursue their degree. So even the way that we structure our lives and the things that we embedded in our children, in our families, is completely different. By the time you're 18, I need you to move out. By the time you're legally able to work, you need to be able to have a summer job. You need to be able to contribute to this rent. Come sit down on this table. I'm paying the phone bill. I'm paying this bill. This goes into this. This goes to your education fund. They're part of the process. When we're having 7, 8, 10 kids, who is sitting in a dining table with you, going over the bills with you? You know? So it's also the mentality. We have to be able to change our mentality before we're even able to think about, you know, are structuring and managing finances. Honest to God.
And you know what? You're absolutely right, wallahi. And it all starts with learning about, understanding to what did that one takeaway was, teaching your children about money, the area you're in. So we live in Canada right now, and I'm learning how so many wealthy families use corporations and small business startups for taxes. Right? They write off so many taxes. They use so many little loopholes and this and that to really get back more money, to write off more money.
They use their kids. Imagine employing your child. You're buying land on your child's name. You're building their credit card.
Let me tell you, something that blew my mind was that there was this advice column that I was reading, Financial Post, and it said that you could go ahead right now as Gupta and put on your child your credit card. He doesn't touch it, but it builds his credit.
Absolutely.
So the car, you know, everything that you're paying, making all these consumer payments towards, monthly payments towards, that's building your credit. You can start building your child's credit at the age of 6,
There's
7.
people paying their mortgages off in 10 years. In 5 years, in 7 years. A mortgage shouldn't be something you pay off, your grandchildren pay off, their great-grandchildren pay off, because they're using things like their education fund, they're using their RESPs. They're putting a certain percentage of that is coming out to, in 5 years, is going to double, and that is a down payment for them to purchase a house. Like, do you know?
If you guys have kids right now, anybody in here who's listening who has kids and who is making any car payments, mortgage payments, credit cards, and anything that is building your credit, call that company, put your kids as a second user. By the time they're 18, the kid already built some sort of credit. It's that simple.
We're thinking like short term, we're thinking fast money, we're thinking about the stresses of paying our bills, keeping up with our day-to-day lives. We're thinking about lack of Planned Parenthood, having multiple children. And then these kids are going into families and marriages and unionships and places in life when they haven't been taught any etiquette, nothing about financial literacy, nothing about maintaining a good dynamic of a family. And it's like, how do you expect our community to collectively advance? We cannot collectively advance. Everybody needs to start individually. Everybody needs to go and take courses. Even listen to a lecture. Go online. Learn something. You know, take courses. You cannot just be crippled and say, I don't want any aid. If you're crippled in finances, learn about finances. There are certain certificates that you can take which will allow you. Right now, you're using a bank. You're using a bank and a bank advisor. What is stopping you by becoming your own bank advisor? You can go and get a license, okay, financial course that you can take, a small little program that will give you an Ontario license or LLC where you can be your own CRA. You know how what CRA does? You can do it for yourself. And then guess what? You can leave these banks behind, and you can, because you have that license, you're able to invest in a higher rate. So you're if your bank is investing you at like 0.3 cents or blase, you can invest at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, because now you are qualified. And that's what people do. They go after real estate. They go after all of that, okay? And another thing that you can do for yourself is when a bank like TD or RBC, or what are they doing? They're investing your money into their products. So you are limited. You are limited because this one company is only able to produce this one thing. And you have to, maybe they'll give you like 3 options that their bank produced. But when you're able to have your license, you're able to go and advance abroad, even outside of this little country that you live in. You can go and invest in other places with higher rates. So that's another thing that I wanted to tell people. You know, it's sad, like what Nagnol said, now that we're able to recorrect these mistakes, we're able to learn these things, we're practicing it with our kids. Now they have thrown me into this digital currency, and now it's like we have to play catch up. Now we have to learn this shit too. I just wanted to say that.
The sooner the better. Like if you live in Toronto, the Toronto Public Library offers free services, and like YouTube University, it's the best place in the whole wide world. I suggest you YouTube everything, and just like, you know, you can even listen to it in your language. If you don't know too much tough English, it can be intimidating. You know, especially if you grew up in a family setting where money wasn't talked about, or you kind of connected to the white man, and it could be. So YouTube everything, learn as much as you can. And like, this stuff is starting. The digital currency, what I like about it is just starting off right now. You know, so if you go ahead and start learning now, you actually have some sort of possibility to, you know, benefit from it in a major way. But like, if you wait 20, 30 years like we did, they're going to be onto something else where they'll be trading in, like, I don't know. My God, wallahi.
No,
So
you're
can you touch on
absolutely
this? The personal finance programs. Are you able to touch up on it, Nagnol? Because we're gonna be getting off live pretty soon. How to stop living paycheck to paycheck. You can find that in Rich Dad Poor Dad book that we had up earlier. That is an excellent book that we recommend for everybody on WST, and pass it along to your friends, guys. It's an amazing, like, motivating book. Yeah. So what other programs like?
So programs that I personally used was the Toronto Public Library. I'm in Toronto, Canada. Whoop, whoop. And what we do is like, they have things from beginners to intermediate to money management to accounting. And honestly, I recommend everybody just to go online and see their financial programs that they offer. They have it even online, so if you don't want to go in person, but if you go in person, you can ask questions in person, and the people there work for the banks. So they're actual bank advisors, investors, and you can piggy bank off of there to other things that they have that are free, like Meetup Toronto. You can meet up little small groups. If you're not like a social person, fine, do it online. And YouTube is amazing. Like I said, YouTube, everything.
Me, I decided to go to WSB, World System Builders. I got involved with them. A friend of mine at uni, when I graduated for my specialized honors in sociology program, I just spoke about what led me into that, like why I even wanted to learn about finances, because it's true. I grew up in a Somali household. Like, you know, my parents didn't really talk to me about money. It was always the stresses of money. We spoke about like what even Lady K said. No, not Lady K, but just K. The stresses of money, and, you know, and not having too much of it. And then the necessity, like our necessity, like spending money on things that are naturally should be given to us, that always did not resonate with me. Like, wallahi, it pissed me off. And when I grew older, and I had my own family and I had my own life and I had my own kids, I realized I don't even know anything about money. I don't even know anything about investing. I don't know how to capitalize off this. So that's what kind of like, when I graduated, I didn't want to throw myself into a job. I said, I want to be able to do what I learned. I want to be able to, you know, restructure my life in a way that I have to learn about money so I know what to do with my money. Like if I'm going to continue going to a job and working at a job, I need to be able to know what to do with my money in a way that it's going to benefit my children. I don't have this mentality of raising my children as an investment. I don't look at my children as an investment. A lot of people look at their kids as an investment. I'm investing in this child only a little bit, so you know, in the future, they're going to take care of me. I don't attach myself. I want to be able to make sure my children are placed in a place where they are secure and safe and that they're able to create generational wealth. So if I wouldn't be able to do that if I treated them like an investment. So I wanted to move away from that mentality, Marka Kowad. And the second thing I wanted to do, it was join courses that were going to get me licensed to be able to do these things myself. I didn't want to rely on an advisor. You know, I wanted to be that for myself. So that's the only thing I can share with you guys for my personal self. And I'm still learning. And that's that. You can download these programs. You can find free ones. You can pay into it. And that's what I would say about that. African lady, do you have anything to add?
Gupta, one last thing, Habibti, was that everybody here should have like a bank account, hopefully, that they use. You can walk into your banking institution and talk to a financial advisor. You're absolutely more than entitled to it. It's not for the rich.
No. You know, but sometimes these people, they're only going to guide you into what they know. You understand? And we grew up different and we grew up different environments and we want different needs. I tell people and I pressure people in my community to be self-representative. Be your own self-representation, build your own platforms, and not only that, learn these skills for yourself. We cannot keep relying on people every single day of our life. Like, rely on them, learn from them, and move on. Carry it on and install that stuff. Take those seeds and plant those seeds into your community, into your children, so they're able to, that's even a way of us creating generational wealth within our communities. That's what I was talking about, Nagnol. Not so much, I think everybody majority of the people, they understand that you can go to a bank and have an advisor, right? But you're doing that for 10, 12 years, you're going to be stuck in that one place. Your mind is not growing. You're not doing anything for yourself, you know? So, yes, African lady, what would you like to add? Because I'm going to be concluding very soon.
I have nothing to add, but there is always a take out.
Take out, okay. I like that.
My parking shot, I'll say, like, you know, for always depend how you related with money, and always be able to be distinguished between money and wealth.
Yes, tell them, girl.
That's very important.
Yeah.
And secondly, don't be scared. What do you want to do it. Thirdly, generational wealth is very important. If you have never have started your great grandparent, if they have never started for you, you start for your own now and start for your kids, so that it has to continue from there. The other things that you mentioned, and I haven't get time to reach. It was something else that she mentioned, Nagnol, and I haven't get even a chance to come in, and things it jumped to the something else. Nagnol said that. Pardon?
I said speak on it. Recap, Nugusame. Do a recap on that we skipped over.
Yeah. Nagnol said that, you know, for doing for generational wealth, it has not been there. Maybe according to the history, it used to be there, but the millennium generation, they have never had a luck because of the civil war that happened at back home, and many people have lost their collateral and other kind. If there is a livestock, if there is a collateral, if there is a farm, if there is so many things, it has gone. And for that one is why we don't have. And the other things that she mentioned, it was for making for generational wealth. You know, like if we look at it, every brand that you see right now, those, forget about the brand that is like Louis Vuitton and the other brands, or what do I call, Chanel and so on. Forget about that. But there are other brands such as MAC, and such as a Spot Check, and all kind of things that they sell in a Spot Check. Everything has a brand. And those brands, how do they maintain? You know, demand and GBD and demand is what people usually pay attention to. So sometimes those companies who print clothes, who does so many things, they don't print a plenty of it until everyone can buy it. No, they print particular number. They don't exceed the number. Even though they are looking, they want money, okay? But why do they have to print that particular amount? Because they want to keep the demand where it is. If they print more, then the market will crash. In order to maintain their brand, in order to maintain the name, in order to maintain the quality, and in order to maintain the price, they keep it that way. But if they can print millions of it, but if they print, it will go cheap and they will not have. For that way, they have to print a particular number, no plus, no minus. And that's how they do sell it. And that's what makes them to maintain the quality, the demand of those goods that they are selling. By then, we always have, as a community, we always have like if you open one thing, I will open. You bring dira, I will bring dira. You bring this, I will bring. So such kind of things is not a smart business. People need to be smart business, and they need to print. They need to respect one another, so that they have to live. If this one gets something, you can always look for a talented people, or the talented trees, or production advisors, or development advisors. They will advise you something very unique, and there is always something good to go with it. The other things that you guys have mentioned, like children being included, the wealth and so on, to write their name, anything that you are paying. But before you do that, it's very important to your child to introduce what do money means and what do wealth means. It's very good.
Having that healthy conversation and that dialogue, African lady, is good, because in the families we grew up, nobody would discuss that with you. They would tell you how we don't have it, but they would never really talk about what it means and how it could set you free and different, and even be able to compete with others in that sense. Like, you know what I mean?
It's
So
very
to have
good.
that dialogue is good, is what I'm saying.
Very good.
Introduce that to our
Maybe
kids.
sometime, yeah, it's very good. Maybe sometime to teach them. Like as a dad, he has to bring money for 20 bucks and give the mother 20 bucks. The children, each one of them 20. Let them go to the market and everyone buy what they want and keep their change and see how these kids are related with money. You want to teach them. You have to take them. You need to teach them how to fish. Okay? The thirdly thing
That's
that I
actually
have,
on the book that most rich people they teach at the age of 7
Yeah.
or 6 even they start talking about finances and what it means and how to earn it, and they slowly increase their knowledge as they get older.
I
yeah,
see my
you know,
mom's
like,
friend, like my Ajnabi friend's mom, when we were like in literally grade 7, and she had her checkbook, and she's like, Ashley, get my checkbook. This is the electricity. She had like an Excel sheet. She would write things down, and she would literally tutor her daughter in this. And I was like, what is your mom making you do? She'd be like, oh, my mom, she wants me to learn about all of this stuff because she wants me to manage her business later. So it's like, wow, my parents have never sat anywhere but it's not to compare and contrast because we just never came from that society is what I'm saying. But in this generation of women, do that with your kids. Don't look at where our parents dropped the ball. They didn't drop no balls. They just were conditioned because they were coming out of war, right? Now we have this knowledge. So let's not just sit on it. Let's do the work and start getting our kids involved because we need to be able to move away from that mentality of fame and rich. No, we need to go into wealth, you know, and from that mentality. Sorry, but go ahead, lady, Africa.
No, I think she got a phone call. But Gupta, another thing is it's not only the children. We have to learn how to rely on each other. Our spouses, our husbands, they work, they have credit. The wife can easily go under the husband and build her credit that way, you know? There was another whole tax bracket that I was reading. I didn't really understand it too much, but it was talking about how the housewife was the housewife. However, she was building her credit using her husband's corporation taxes and like going through different loopholes with him as if she was working in the company, you know? So like these taxi drivers and all these people that are just kind of like, we have to get out of the mentality of slow earnings and bambantal gunolia, because that for some millions of dollars. Like we're literally missing out on millions and millions of dollars. The small businesses that we have in Toronto right now, most of the habariers that are operating the small businesses, are they operating it on a way that they can benefit from the taxes? Do they know how the breaks that they get? The difference between corporation, your sole propriety, it all comes down to just, I think, learning now so we can take advantage of the new currency and things that are coming up. Like, right? It is what it is, right? If you have kids, if you're married, see how you can get in on this, because you don't want to always be like, thousands of dollars. It's not nothing anymore now. Hundreds and thousands. You're leaving millions of dollars on the table.
Absolutely. I think Lady Africa was trying to say something before the call dropped.
yeah, what do I call, like, maybe I will be leaving you very soon. There are other things that I haven't get a chance to talk. It was about the, what do I call, about the opportunities and the money and the people who have an opportunity back in the African continent and here in the diaspora. You know, there is always like a apple and orange. Each one of them have different kind of vitamins that is good for us. We need both, and sometimes not everyone gets both, right? So people back in Africa, they have
better opportunity than people who are in here. Why I will say that? A foreign, it will be always remain as a foreign. Okay, it will always remain as a foreign. No matter how much you carry citizen, no matter whether you are in permanent resident, no matter whether you have lived here for hundreds or thousands of years, a foreign will always remain a foreign. So what do we have here? We may have access to what do I call, to education. And even education, you have to pay the money for it, or you have to take the loan for it. What else do we have? What other opportunities do we have? We have little kind of something we will call freedom, which it doesn't exist, but that's what people's minds are. Okay, manipulated freedom is what I will call for it. Thirdly, what is in here other than that? Other than that, a shelter that you don't own and you will never own, the access to some of the things that you are not even on the privilege. There is still a higher rank of privilege ahead of you, or top people. So that's one thing. What do we have here? We have fear. We have fear. We have debt. We have a lot of kind of stress. We have unhealthy life. What do I mean for unhealthy? The doctors, they don't cure. They don't cure anything. They treat symptom. They don't treat the cause. One. Second, anything that we are eating is not healthy. Third, foods, either they are GMO or either they are full of chemical or other chemical or pesticide. That's what we go for it. And then, what is the best benefit that we have? We only have the passport, which is a paper, can be taken from you anytime, and you can have it for, we don't know for how long. What is better in people who are back in Africa? People who are back in Africa, I know there are those people who have never bought all their lifetime a briefcase to put their clothes. Okay? I know there are those people who have never even tested a painkiller to use it for them any kind of pain. There are those who have never paid a rent or took a loan, and way better than us. Healthy life and freedom. And there are those who have made an extra mile, okay, with education, with what do I call, with the wealth, with education, with education, medication, and wealth and everything. Way better than here. And those are in Africa. And there are those who are they are also the opposite side. There are those who wait $300, $500 sent it from here to survive with it. So, and there are those who are in the refugee camp who have been taken, even their dignity, human dignity, are not there for them. Okay, there is always this kind of advantage and disadvantage. I didn't prepare for them to compare and contrast, but it just come into my mind when you mention, like, what do they gain, what do they lose? Definitely, if there is anyone losing, it's we. If there is anyone gaining, it's them. For them, even if they lose in a big time, they will die and they will be buried aware the grave and everything, and where people can go and visit and so on, or close to the family, or even the same compound that they belong to great grandfathers are being buried. That cannot be sold the rest of their life. So there is always better things and fair here and there, but that's the way it is.
So, and here we have our briefcase packed with clothes, shoes, and everything. And anytime that happen, anything, we are there to run away. We are ready for it to run. So that's the life, my dear. And them, they have never even thought something like that. Yeah. So it's, huh?
I said absolutely. You were right in
Yeah,
all
they
of
have
that.
the family,
And
they have the tribe, they have the clan, they have the privilege of everything. They have the cattle, they have the farm, they have everything, organic food, happiness, being togetherness. That's
They
all
don't,
what
but
values life.
African
Life
lady, they
doesn't
don't
value.
have the rich mentality.
yeah, we're lacking that.
That's the problem. They're lacking. They're on poor dad status. Remember, this is the problem. Like our whole concept is how can we make $1 million?
Poor dad, rich dad. Get the book,
Ha!
you guys. Poor
How
dad,
can we
rich dad.
make
Get
$1
the book.
million?
Wala khatar wa ay
You
bugas.
know,
Where did I
yeah,
put-
We always like
Africans were not used to be poor, okay?
Yeah, we're not used to that
Okay?
lifestyle. Wallahi, Warun.
Wait,
this
wait.
is we have to. I'm trying to flip the script.
If there is a bankruptcy, it's in this particular where we are today. And it's the poorest people I have ever seen in my lifetime. Quantity of being counted of the household, how much you buy, how much you eat. You have to count. And there are those who have never counted how much they buy and how much they eat. One. There are those who have their farm, and those farm have been there for generation to generation. There are those who have there are those who are pastoralists, because I'm among of the pastoralist community, who have a cattle, and they have been raising cattle from generation to generation. Okay, and there are those who are in the city, make the business from generation to generation, and that's all what life means. You know, as long as you're happy and have wealth, that will continue from generation to generation. You know the mayata of keeping what do I call cattle, how big it is. You know how big it is. It can be like entire of a Dixon area.
Yeah.
One house, one little kind of mayata, but the rest of it, it's a cattle who are living there and owned by one family. And that stamp owned by one family. Yeah. Go
That's
to
the
Northern
rich dad
City,
family.
go to Cielo, go to Samburu County, go to Moyale, go to Marsabit. Look at it, how the pastoralists are living there. They are also
My
rich.
old boss did that. He literally bought land so big. It was bigger than all of Dixon. It was like from Dixon to Rexdale. That is huge.
That's the guy
That
we need
is
to be talking
generational wealth,
to.
my friend.
That's
Yeah.
the guy we need to be talking to.
I talk to that guy all the time. What's it called? Is because they put me on this when I was younger, because like you have to be able to seek these things out for yourself, and we spoke about that. We're not going to be able to, in this platform we provide resources. We don't just have conversations at every night. At the end, when it's all said and done, we look at people and we're like, man, we have these problems. What can we do about it? And we usually give like 2 or 3 things that you can do about it. In this case, is surrounding yourself with like-minded people. That's why we told you guys, Poor Dad, Rich Dad,
people.
that book.
Rich people.
Yes, like networking is not always what you know, is who you know. So I had that value installed in me. And also I don't like personally relying on anybody. I like to be able to, even if I have to rely on you, I want it to be very limited, a window to the point where I'm able to learn for myself. And that goes back to that whole notion of teach somebody not only how to fish, like to don't teach the person how to fish for themselves. So that goes back to finances, right? And everything that everyone spoke about on the platform, I agree with all of that. But those are just some skills: getting yourself courses, changing your surrounding, changing the people that you hang around with, investments, and teaching your kids. So I would like to welcome this brother, Abdul Qadir. Walala so dawaa, assalamu alaikum. It's Friday around here. Marka, welcome.
Anyway, me, I will leave you because I need to make some
Okay,
phone calls.
African lady.
I
I wish you all the best,
Thank
guys.
you
Take
so
care
much
of
for
you.
your
Thank
knowledge,
you for being
sister.
here.
Much appreciated. May Allah make you rich.
May Allah bless you.
Thank you.
Lady Africa, wakuso da'inaya. And have a great weekend. Have an amazing weekend. And thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate all the gems that you dropped on us. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. How you doing, my sister? Qubul Basi Salam.
Salaamullah. So dhawaad walaalo maxaa nagu darsanaysaa fikradaada. You always have great, amazing points. Nin community-ga u istaagsanaa tahay. I love your transparency. Marka, we were talking about money and finances and all these different things tonight, and we're just coming to the end right now. I've been here since 10, so it's 1:20 Toronto time. But definitely, I wanted fikradaada inaan ugu darsatid. Marka kusoo dhawaaw.
Allah, to be honest with you, because I'm getting ready for the house cleaner to come, so I just want to listen to you. So I don't want to give no input on something. You know what I mean? I don't have a
But I
total
see you
understanding.
doing these things over there in Egypt. No, in Cairo. Was it in Egypt? You're doing great things. You're investing. You're buying houses. Like, what are you learning about money and currency and all of that? Like, what do what do you think about that? What does even money mean to you? You know?
Right. Yeah. But as I said, it's not like quick one word answer to it. It's a whole and plus I'm trying to get my house ready right now for this person, because usually you don't want cleaners come to your house unless you know where you got everything set up a certain way. So because this is a third world country, in the end of the day, so you have to be very
Okay,
conscious.
Walal, do us a favor, Walal. Document your step-by-step process on how you're doing this, starting a business in Cairo, and email it to us so maybe we can share it with people who want to do this, inshallah.
Inshallah. But assalamu alaikum. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna stay on the path. Whenever you're ready, go off. But I'm sitting here listening to y'all.
All right, sounds good. Lady K, what's popping over there? What's going on, Lady K? It's that time. We have to gather our thoughts. Nagnol, if you have anything to say, I think we covered everything. Am I missing
No,
anything?
actually, you're missing one more thing. Actually, I wanted to push on and let everybody know, Muslina Nahai, if you want money, you gotta give money, and this has worked for me to the maximum. I'm speaking from experience here. Wallahi billahi talahi, when I started my small business, I literally started it on a dime, and I was just giving sadaqah, and it paid off. I can't even lie. It really, really paid off. So I found a simple technique. Now everything has become a lot simpler in the Toronto area. What I do is, we have online banking.
Yes, right here.
If just move aside, if you have online banking now, so what you can do today to guarantee your richness for tomorrow is you can set up automatic payments to the masjids locally to pay. You don't even have to pay that much. $1.
$1.
Simple dollar every month. Adigo gifted every month. $1 goes to each masjid. That right here on the screen is five masjids. So every month you would pay $5, $1 each. We don't discriminate around here. So there is a masjid in every corner. There's one Vaughan, Scarborough, West End, East End, South End, North End. Just set up their email transfer, right, to $1 a month. Let it rest. The computer will do the whole job for you. And then, inshallah, you just reap the rewards. You know what I mean? And ilahi sadaqu kaga diga, lacagtaadu ku kordhina, business hadaa whatever I did, just let it flow. Ada arkaysin, I promise you.
And it's as simple. You don't even have to go to the masjid to drop it off in the mosque, like buckets anymore. Your system does it for you.
MashaAllah, that is amazing. You know, because you know, when you talk to people all the time, when you talk to like very wealthy people, I don't call them rich. I'm not looking to be rich. I want to be wealth in everything, wealth in health, wealth in mind. You know, they always talk about give back to your community, give back to the masjid, you know, all of those things, and don't discriminate. It's what you can afford for yourself. And thank you to Nagnol for that, as well as this has been an yes, Kay, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing that. Wallahi, it's so true, 110%. بقول share in يعني there's so many great examples of صدقة in the Quran, in Sunnah Nabi عليه الصلاة والسلام. So as a Muslim community, we'll all reach horta marka ugu horeysa dhammaanteen, because Ilaahay wuxuu na siiyey diinta, Ilaahay wuxuu na siiyey caafimaadka, Ilaahay wuxuu na siiyey caqliga. All of that maad aragtay waxa weeyaan waa hanti maguuraana. Ilaahay aqoon buu na siiyey, ammaan buu na siiyey, alxamdulillah. So waxaan oo dhan iyo fursadan aan rabno inaan wealthy ku noqono, waxaan kaga fikiraynaa because our needs are covered, alxamdulillah. And I just wanted to say, qof kastoo xaggan ku jira, it's really important inaan barato. And I'm just gonna come back to the basics because I am the poor dad, you know, like kuchere bogas. So I'm just gonna come back to the basics because I know like we all love to be rich, we all love to be wealthy. Like wax kasta muxuu ka bilowdaa waa inaan dhisno maxaa la dhahaa dhulka seeska waa inaan dhisno si aad gidaarka aad u gaadho korka iyo roofka si aad u gaadho. You have to start from the beginning, like meesha gurigaaga dhismaha ka bilaabayso. And I just wanted to say, wallahi, I just want to share my own experience. Financial stress is one of the worst things I can ever deal with. Like it completely affects my whole life. And I just wanted to say, qof kasta inaad barato the basics of how loo maareeyo paycheckaagu is what you can start with. يعني waxyaabaha inaanad, because حتى waxaa jira intaas oo research oo laga sameeyey oo akhriyay a couple of months ago oo lagaga hadlayo in mental, physical and financial wellness ka say isugula xiriiraan, how all these pillars affect us, how 50% of Canadians are maxaa la dhahaa suffering from insomnia because of financial stress. And I think from coming from like all of us waxaan ka niminay family ay lacagtu tight ahayd, we can see and we can understand our own experiences with waalidkeena sidoo kale. So I just wanted to say, like, you don't want to go in that circle again. Like, you don't want to be stressed the rest of your life about run paycheck to paycheck. Because Imika, what about if something happens to you and circle kaagaas wuu istaagay, the next paycheck ma imaanayo, how much stress baad maraysaa? So I think everybody said a lot about that, how you can manage your funds, how you can have different accounts for different things, for emergency. waxaad hadduu maanta emergency yimaado, if qof or one of your loved ones gets sick, or if shaqada lagaa cayriyo, there's been a lot of layoffs going. So I just wanted to say, start the basics and ka bilow si aad u samayso, si aad healthy, si aad wellness, financial wellness ka u gaartid before you get rich or wealthy. Isku day inaad, and wallahi guys, this is what I think Elon Musk and Twitter kiisa ku arkay. School imika lama aadayo, school waa la joojiyay, lacag lagu bixiyo. Education is on the internet. aqoonta aad raadinaysid islaada, oh, I wish I could get that certificate. Unless you want to work for other people, haddaad adiga unaxtaada rabta inaad wax barato, you can learn anything and everything today from the internet. Google, just make sure inaad site saxda aad hesho. YouTube ka gal, imika jaamacadaha waa la joojinaya. Those people oo 40,000 ku qaadanayay to give you a degreegaasi 3-4 course baaba relevant ku ahayd, inta kale common course bay ahayd. waxaasoo dhan imika waa laga gudbay. So educate yourself.
Can I add tax-free? Look into things that are tax-free. You know what I mean? There's a lot of financial things that are tax-free, that kind of privilege, they're able to get ahead because they're always banking on money that is tax-free. I just wanted to put that in there.
Exactly, absolutely, and that's where you can start. And inshallah, by doing that, if you get hold of managing your paycheck, richnimadu way ku dhowdahay. Laakiin if you're financially struggling, hada stresska ku jirto, you know what, I can't even pay my car payments this month. You won't have the opportunity to think about being rich or investing or anything. So don't spend. Like, and it starts with lacagtaada sidaad u isticmaalayso marka and I've been reading and listening a lot about this for the past few months markaan soo noqday because I've been financially stressed. Waxaad barataa sida lacagta anaga dhibkan haysta waxa weeyaan we spend before we even get it. Credit card debt baad ku jirtaa by the minute u paycheck
You need to use cash to always keep a jar. Put, okay, I owe for a gas note. Put your money when you get your paycheck, because when you use a card, it's not tangible, it's not visible in your hands. And when you see something, and it's like seeing and not seeing, there's a big difference. So use jars and pay all your money off, all your card, and see how much you have left, and keep that with you.
Exactly. And I wanted thank you so much for saying that. Wallahi, it was exactly what I was gonna say, because waxaan rabay inaan dhahdo, if you want to save money also, waxaad ku bilowdaa markay paycheckaaga saa usoo dhacda, pay yourself first. Paycheckaaga 30% account different ku shub, that's you paying yourself, because every other penny dad kale u tagaya, the car payment, the rent, the food. Marka waxaad samaysaa pay yourself first. Khotakaad maxaa la dhahaa $500 account ku shub aana adiga ka daba tagaynin.
Okay, not even so much account, because dadka bankiga lacagtaada account marka ugu ridid ayaka taajir ku noqdaan, because they're able to reinvest that. So find ways, things that you can put your money, keep it in cash, meel safe soo gado, xataa safe oo lock wax kasta leh, qofna ha iskaaga sheegin, break your walls and create a safe like El Chapo did. Why do I care? You know, there's a whole thing of lacagteeda bankiga, lacagtaada la isticmaala, waa la sii deemina.
You're not getting anything out of it.
Yeah, you're better off in aruursatid Africa hal mar ka degatid oo farmka maanta dhan lady Africa ka hadlaysa adigoo gadatid baa istaahishaa, instead of letting your money go.
And wallahi, with all of this going on right now, bangiyada way chabayaan, bangiyada maxay, I can't even trust them, like literally.
We have to figure out ways that we can keep our money tangible, meaning in our hands right here at this palm button.
If you cannot say something, then it's not feasible.
No, guys, actually, no. No. You're not supposed to see your money. Your money is supposed to work for you. It's supposed to be away from you working.
It's not going to work for us if it's sitting in a bank, is what we're saying. I think
yes, it does. If you put it in the right bank accounts and investments, you can put it in high interest accounts, and that can build interest for you.
Well, guess what? That's not with these banks. There's not these basic banks.
No, it is.
Rich people don't use these basic banks. I've been around them. Trust me.
No, seriously. Hado, inshallah, don't worry. I'll send it to you. What's your name?
The people I'm with right now, they don't even want me banking with these banks. You know, they want you to bank.
You are not supposed to see your money.
This is what I'm saying, Aniga.
It's better you take a little jar, put your card note, take another one.
Poor dad. That's poor dad. Poor dad.
Rich dad. This is the difference in Agnol, in my opinion. Let me tell you, in my opinion,
our community, we have to start basic, okay, Mahanto?
Yeah, there's so many
different. Either you're talking to like a rich person mentality. We need to start with our community on us. We're building the foundation for them right here.
Exactly. That's what we always
$500, guys. $500. $500 is pretty basic. If you take $500 and put it into certain bank accounts, like my sister-in-law explained to me, you distribute it towards your CIBC and TD account and leave it alone. Just keep adding to it. It generates interest. The idea is for you not to have that money around in that arkin. It's supposed to generate money for you.
Let me tell you this. I think that there is so many different accounts and savings that you can do. There's money you can invest in.
Yes.
There is
Yes.
money you can keep on Cheb Kaga, because if the bank is crashed, Habibti,
No, that's fear. No, don't. No. Once again, we came back to the beginning of the conversation.
You know, that's how we're gonna leave the
No.
conversation. Nagno is trying to, you know. You
No.
guys, anyways, I'm out here to conclude. 2 in the morning, I'm Marcino sin. Magara
Oh my
10.
God.
Yeah. But screen katasta. I don't know why we had. Why
We're
was
gonna
everybody asleep tonight? I think
Gupta, we're
everybody
gonna have our own little sit down on how you can make this money work for you with family members who are doing it for me right now. I'm not allowed to have a single dollar in my hand.
I don't believe that. I believe opposite. My group of people, they're like to the billionaires.
Under the
They're
mattress.
totally
You want to
different.
keep your money under the mattress like I
Girl,
know you can.
what about if somebody comes? What about if Hadu landlord ke hada ka waran? I don't trust anybody. I carry my money with
I
me.
think they're putting me on some El Chapo mission, Baba Kulay. Before I take my money to the
You know,
bank.
growing
That's
up,
how I handle things.
We just came back to being rich dad all over, the poor dad all over again. Full
Yeah, no,
circle moment. We
Nagnol,
tried.
Nagnol, markaan yaraa, I got randomly $5 one day, and I was so excited. I literally digged in the ground. I put it there. I left it alone. After a month, I came back to it, but then I couldn't find it. I'm so traumatized. I am traumatized in so many ways.
I'm dead. Everyone next, and I'm done with you too.
Girl, you missed out because you should have put it in like, girl, I don't know what. I'll call you and tell you, you know. But listen,
include me in that conversation. I need to change my poor dad.
You left me so speechless right now.
You know what? This just goes to show us we have a lot of work to do in our community. May Allah help us all get out of this.
That's why Anako we support the masjid. Anako we support the masjid. Every masjid $1 iskaga dar. Ilaahay ba arsaaqada ku toosinayo. Ilaahay ba ilmaha ku wanaajinayo. Ducada Ilaahay ba ku
And it's set up automatically. You set up automatically.
Because if you don't want to, like, you know, sometimes you're not going to be in the masjid every day. Only God knows what you're up to. You know, life is difficult.
Absolutely.
You don't have to feel that guilt trip. WST does never want to guilt trip you guys. Anako a safe zone ba nahane. Non-judgmental zone by Nahane. We welcome you. We love you. We have this platform so we can get to know one another, help each other, provide resources, build our communities, have self-representation in our communities. It's been an incredible night. We spoke on so many different things. We spoke on the 15 African countries that are preparing and developing e-currencies. We spoke about the Naira, the CBDN currency. We had Lady Africa, and along with Nagnol and Amina and Kay, we spoke about what is money mean to you, how does society value money aside from, you know, it being a hot commodity, you know, exchange goods. We just spoke about poor dad, rich dad mentality. We spoke on, you know, the different type of investments and currencies with AI and the quantum with Tesla. And that being like back in the day it was only rich people that were able to invest and you know, work at Wall Street, and you know, now the doors are being open for low income earners to also participate in that. Marka, it's been a great conversation. I know that you guys really asked for this topic, you know, how we moved from, you know, the revolutionary times, and how we moved from, like, you know, the gold standard of money, and, you know, moving on to printing money, and just how that leads to inflammation and all of that. We got into that, the economic underlining, the competition that comes with it. Yeah, it's been the sovereignty of money, the soundness of money, and the properties through how money is valued. So it was a lot of conversation, and it's been interesting as usual. I think everybody's out partying because I don't see many of you guys here tonight, but that's okay. You guys are our WST family always, Sanilehe. And
Upload this on your YouTube, right?
oh, please subscribe to the YouTube WST Foundation and Wellness. It has the same logo on like that you see the platform has that same logo on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel if you really like what we're doing in our community, if you want to be part of a community, if you want to, stand together, if you want us to stand with you, we are here to stand with you. We are here to give you resources and support in whichever way that you need it. That's what we do here in WST. Please interact with us. We're always looking forward to you guys interacting with us, sending us, inbox us, message us if you have any questions or if there's something that you want us to stand with you on. So that's what we do. As usual, we introduce our topic usually at the end of the night. So our next topic of discussion. Are you guys gonna give me a drum roll? What do you guys want our topics to be? Let me see it on the. I should see. Let me ask you guys, what topic should we do next? In the comments and tap the screen. You have 1 minute. 1 minute to do that. Let's keep that. Who's in here? I think everybody. Food. Okay. Food and health. We definitely wanted to talk about that. It's funny you said that because last time I said I wanted to talk about food insecurity. Yeah, I want to talk about food. I just want to talk about what it means to be a woman, womanhood, what it means to have self-love, self-care, self-awareness. I want to talk about taking back our bodies, what it means to be healthy. That's what I want to talk about. So tomorrow night, we are going to have like a ladies' night. Get your snacks, get your snakes, get your snakes. And we are going to have a ball. Like we're going to talk about, we're going to have a chill night. We're going to have a chill night because we're going to let some of these information like just digest in our heads. أنا كوا أختي Somali a lot of Somali people have ADHD أخبار when we so badate. Marka, we have to give them some time to process this information. We don't want to overload, right? So let's have a fun topic, and I think that would be an amazing topic. Also,
Are we gonna do tomorrow or the day after? Do we do every other night or every night?
Every other
We
night.
do every other night, but if I, we do every other night. So I forgot, because I got messed up from yesterday. Yeah, my bad. We do every other night. I just felt like we should just do it tomorrow because I feel like this is a topic that we've been prepared for and we put it in the roster. So like usually we take a day to kind of get information, read articles, just do our work. We like to do our lake work. We don't like to bring information to you that's opinionated. We actually like to talk about things that are factual or, are talked about or have studies behind it or have articles behind it. So I guess I got too excited is what I'm saying. And I love self-care and self-love and just inspirational stories. And I will talk to y'all about it. And if you see us on here, you do. And if not, keep a lookout for us on Sunday night. How does that sound, ladies?
Inshallah.
Inshallah. It's been amazing. I thank you guys for the sake of Allah. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart for the WST family, Wa'ujadeen, and stay safe out there. Be humble, be kind to one another, and keep at it until next time. Habeen Wanax and Milkasta Jokteen. Bye.
I love your conclusion. I love it. You're gonna be on that from now on.
Thank you, love. Ciao, guys.
Thank you.